Welcome, everybody, to Bird's Nest Stadium here in Georgetown, Kentucky, where tonight, Battle of the Birds 2, Scott County High School, the quote-unquote home team, in the dark uniforms. I guess they're wearing the red with the black numerals tonight. Will take on Great Crossing, the visitors in the stadium that's right next door to their high school, in the white with the blue numbers and the snazzy silver helmets. They've had the coin toss. It was conducted by none other than Coach Paul Raines, who I think it was the 205th win of his coaching career, his illustrious coaching career at 8 different Kentucky high schools, came last year at the end of the season as Great Crossing took out Grant County for its first ever win. He has since retired and handed the reins to Ricky Bowling. He tossed the coin tonight. Great Crossing won and deferred to the second half, so Scott County will get the ball. The Cardinals come in at 1-0 off a hard-fought 7-6 win last week over the Bryant Station defenders. It was a touchdown by Montego Jones with 8 minutes remaining in the game that was the difference in that one, along with, don't want to underestimate the Cardinals' defense and the role they played in that one, as well as special teams. A blocked PAT by Campton Martin after Bryant Station scored its only TD was the difference on the scoreboard. Great Crossing, a 35-13 loss at Woodford County. 4 turnovers, all in its own territory, led directly to 3 Woodford County scores. And if you look at the scoreboard, that was the difference in that game as well, as the margin of victory was 3 touchdowns for the Yellow Jackets. So Great Crossing comes in at 0-1. This is the first district game, of course, for both teams. The difference from last year, the inaugural season, well, there are a lot of differences. Let's start with the fact that both teams have a game under their belt. Secondly, it's not the crowd of 7,000 for obvious reasons that we had last year with the pandemic. The limits on tickets to participants, 2 per player / band member / cheer and dance squad member. But if you look at the Great Crossing side, I'm going to say half to 2/3 full, even with those limitations, and the same on the Scott County side once the band gets seated. So we have a great atmosphere for high school football tonight. We are about 3 minutes away from kickoff. We'll introduce the other members of our team shortly. I'm Kal Oakes, here to bring you all the action of every home game this year at Bird's Nest Stadium. But we know probably, almost certainly, no doubt, this will be the most viewed and listened to one as the Great Crossing Warhawks take the field with the American flag and the Warhawk banner. Little AC/DC playing in the background here. Scott County waiting on that as the home team. The banner says, "Your mom called, you left your game at home." We will see how that turns out. The Cardinals have been pretty bold about this rivalry since they found out it was going to ever happen a few years ago when this arrangement was announced in the building of a second high school in the county. Of course, Jim McKee, he doesn't need much coaxing to throw a little shade out there every once in a while, and it's good for the community. It's built the rivalry, and certainly Scott County hung one on Great Crossing last year, 72-7. Most people will remember that score. I think for many reasons you can expect. I mean, it's not a real shot in the dark, walk out on a limb to say you're going to have a closer game tonight. But Scott County much younger, Great Crossing with a good portion of its team back. A lot of freshmen and sophomores got on-the-job training, started the season last year as varsity starters at a very young age, 2-3 years younger than a lot of their opponents, and it showed at times on the field. But it's a rivalry that I think the gap will steadily close as the years go by, and Great Crossing certainly with a measuring stick tonight. The Scott County little gamesmanship. They are waiting to run through their banner. The clock ticking down to about a minute before the game. Coach McKee still standing at midfield with the game plan underneath his arms, and here we come. The Scott County Cardinals on the field to join the Warhawks. A standing ovation from their crowd. A bipartisan throng. I don't want to throw out too much of a number. I'm never good at estimating crowd, but I'm going to say 1,200-1,300 people here tonight at least, which certainly well shy of capacity and within reason to allow social distancing, and certainly adherence to the mask rule as well has been accepted by just about everybody here at all the sporting events I've seen. been to a lot of soccer and volleyball for both schools so far, and golf as well. So got a big one coming up next week here at Bird's Nest Stadium, too, as Scott County will host the Frederick Douglass Broncos in another big district matchup, and probably, at least on paper, certainly on paper, a bigger rivalry than this one at this point in time, as those two schools have gone back and forth, and, of course, Douglass with a slew of Division I recruits. Just about ready to pick up Derek Varney here, my partner in crime. How you doing, Derek? Brandon Smith getting ready to kick off for the Warhawks. Deep to receive are Campton Martin and Jeremy Hamilton. They're standing on about the 5-yard line, going from right to left on your radio dial if you're listening at newsgraphic.com. And the ball is in the air, and here we go. It's a short kick fielded by a short man at the 22. It's taken by number 41, Elijah Adams. And Adams will bring it back to the 29 where he's wrapped up, and the Cardinals will start their first drive of the night just shy of the 30-yard line. The quarterback is Zane Patton, a senior. He waited his turn for that job, 2 years behind Cade McKee. His key running back, the fullback, will be Montego Jones. The halfbacks are Jeremy Hamilton. And, of course, Jackson Saylor, Campton Martin will be in there as well. Taylor Luttrell is your slot receiver. And, Derek, good to have you. Luttrell out to the right. Now in motion is Cam Lay. He will get in position on the left side of the line. The handoff, the fake goes to Jones. The counter to Hamilton outside. He gets to the edge and past the 40, where he's tripped up by Caleb Perry. Just past the 40-yard line, up to the 43. Also on the tackle, Casey Fain.
I think, Cal, you're going to see a lot of that tonight. I know that Great Cross was probably expecting to see the belly play right there with Tago coming at them, and they just kind of ran the –
just about every game for Scott County starts with that fullback dive.
Absolutely, and that's what they were expecting. They caught him with a little offside counteraction there.
It's a gain of 12 for Hamilton, who already has an offer from the University of Cincinnati. Now it's Jones up the middle. He is dragging the stack for about 5, call it 6, up to the 48, where it'll be 2nd down and 4.
And that's what they lead from. They get their offense from, as we talked last week, Cal. Once in the third quarter, midway through the third quarter, the line starts laying some big hits on the defensive line, opening up those holes, and that's when Tago just kind of took off from there. And then it opens up the edges.
And this time it's on the outside, and cutting back is Campton Martin. I think that he lined up at quarterback, took a direct snap that time in that formation. A little different. A
little wildcat action there?
I'm not sure. Okay, now Patton was split out. He's still out there. Martin gains the first down well past midfield out to the Great Crossing 42. I'm dwelling on last week's game, and it was a hootenanny.
It was.
Great Crossing coach Bowling told me this week he thought a key, given what happened last week with both teams, was to make Scott County drive the football, and the longer they have to hold on to it, the more likely they put it on the ground. But there's Hamilton once again outside with a gain of 14 inside the 30 to the 28 of Great Crossing.
Cal, you see those big linemen right there pulling and getting out there, and that's just a quick pitch to Jeremy Hamilton, and that, as we spoke last week as well, you got to make it first man miss.
That is on the edges. That is one thing they couldn't do last week, was get the edge.
Right.
As Jones up the middle. Another thing they couldn't do is Jones carries several would-be tacklers to the 15, is they couldn't get this tempo going like they're getting right now. They're a lot of time getting the plays called. They're wasting no time this evening, Derek.
Very nice pace, and they're just chewing up yards right here on Great Crossing. Great Crossing has to find a way to get a stop, or they would love more than anything to get a turnover right here.
And another sweep. This time it's Saylor getting to the edge. He's taken down, wrapped up at the 10. Good tackle by Perry once again. But yeah, in less than 2 minutes, they've taken it from their own 30 down to the Great Crossing 10 without throwing the ball.
Right. And again, it's that big line up front. When they're doing their job and they're opening up just gaping holes for the running backs, it's easy.
It is going to be, is that a sideline warning?
I think so.
No, we got a flag down there, but I don't think it's a penalty. No, they're backing up like it is going to be a penalty.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes for the sun.
The sun is right in our eyes. This is a contrast from last week when it was nice and gray and warm, and tonight it is cool and bluebird skies here at Bird's Nest Stadium.
Beautiful night for football. Unbelievable.
That must have been a holding penalty. They didn't signal or call out anything, but it is 1st and 20, so they marked it back 10 yards. We're going to go with that. 1st and 20, and again, those down and distance situations for Scott County, this is the first negative one of the night. Jones is going to carry it like it's just a regular old first down, push it ahead for 6 or 7 yards once again into the red zone inside the Great Crossing 20.
And I think this is Coach McKee's got to be pleased with his offensive line right now. They're just imposing their will on Great Crossing's defensive line, and they're just eating up chunks of yards. You got 1st and 20 there, and, he knocks off 6 or 7 there.
That group led by the big center, Ethan Miracle, and also on the outside by Jonathan Berry, who's got some D1 offers. That's Hamilton again on the sweep. He cuts it back inside. 2 or 3 Warhawks meet him. Again, it's Perry.
Perry's everywhere, and you got to look at that and say, my quarterback's in on every tackle.
Fain was there. Yeah, you don't necessarily like that. Caden Allen was involved, as well as number 27, Orion Fisher. But, yeah, we're going to mention that as Great Crossing has moved Perry around on offense. He's more of a all-purpose back slot guy, and they've gone away from having him play quarterback at least last week.
Got a little Cordell Stewart going on.
He's a slash. It's 3rd and 10 from the Great Crossing 15, Scott County in Jacob Bange's field goal range, but they'd like to hang 6 on the board here. They're on the right hash mark. Patton, fake handoff to Jones. Once again, Saylor gets the corner, and he is in for the touchdown. Holds the ball out, but he is untouched with 8:40 to play here in the first quarter. Scott County draws first blood, 6-0 Cardinals.
That's what you get from being able to just take huge chunks of yards up the middle, Cal. You're going to get that. You're going to get that jet sweep, and he can run it.
And I apologize. That is Campton Martin. It is, as we said,
hard to tell.
And he said between the sun and these black numbers on red. And there's the man he was the man of the hour defensively last week with and special teams as well with the block PAT. Speaking of block PATs, that one never got off the ground.
Those are huge. We talked
it went. Man, I can't see anything.
I know it's
right
tough.
Now,
we got
7-0.
We got about 3 minutes left with the sun across from us here, Cal. It will be good.
I saw the T flying in the air. I thought someone from Great Crossing got a mitt on it there. With 8:40 to play here in the first quarter, it is Scott County 7, Great Crossing nothing on the Georgetown Community Hospital. Battle of the Birds 2. And Derek, how about some of our sponsors to help them bring the action to us tonight?
Thank you to all of our sponsors, and several of them here at Bluegrass Orthopedics, serving athletes of all ages. Georgetown News Graphic, Cal. That's where you go every day.
That's my home base, the mothership.
That's where the check's written to Kal Oakes. Georgetown News Graphic, Denise Keene, certified public accountant for your tax and auditing needs. Brickhouse Properties Real Estate, buying and selling made easy. Chick-fil-A, home of the original chicken sandwich. That's a great chicken sandwich.
You got to wait in line for that one for most of the time.
Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Kentucky.
You
I'm going to say that because it's TMMK, whatever. Cal was struggling with that last week. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel Clark's Pump and Shop with 3 soon-to-be 4 Georgetown locations. Georgetown Community Hospital.
Angles the kick toward the sideline, and he stopped by who else? Martin at the Great Crossing 31, where the Warhawks will begin their first drive of the night. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Derek.
That's okay.
You got a couple more?
And especially tonight, Georgetown Community Hospital. I mean,
they are the title sponsor of this event, folks. And certainly in these times, they are a vital source in our community resources.
We gotta say hello and welcome to the people that are at the watch party. We got like a little drive-in theater set up at Harmony Christian Church.
Harmony Christian Church. I hear Galvin's has got a party going. Jake Broughton will take the snap under center, and he will look to throw on first down, gets it to the sideline. It is complete, but wrapped right there. Barely got past the original line of scrimmage.
Very anxious to see how Great
Number
Crossing,
18, the reception there, which is Jacob Coulter.
How Great Crossing handles this just swarming Scott County defense. I mean, these guys they're not only big up front, they're fast, they're very agile, and they all swarm the ball, which a Monty McIntyre coach defense does that.
Just saw something there, which is a rarity last week, was a solo tackle by Scott County. There weren't many of those. This will be Caspin Colbert up the middle, and as we said, 4 Cardinals right there. They stripped the ball up, but the whistle had long gone off. Looks like 43 was the man in the center of that stack. That's Cade Tackett. He was the leading returning tackler from last season for the Cardinals. Of course, defense is where a lot of the experience is, Derek, with 6 returning starters for Scott County.
Sure, absolutely. And again, these guys are hungry. You can see them foaming at the mouth out there. They love being on defense. Coach McIntyre, as you see, up and down the sideline, just coaching them up every play. And I think Great Crossing is going to have to open up the playbook tonight and really try some different wrinkles. And, what do you have to lose,
3rd and 9 from the 32. Broughton throws to Perry in the flat, but a great tackle to hold him shy of the stick. as both Hamilton and Young were there. A.J. Young and Jeremy Hamilton. It'll be 4th and 1. Interesting decision for Great Crossing. How bold do you want to get at this point in the game?
I'll do it. I absolutely go right here just to show my kids, hey, I got confidence in you. We can get this yard.
I think they're going to send the punt team out.
He is not going to do it.
Coach Bowling says you guys need to go to the casino after this if you're thinking that way, but we're not going to do that here. We're going to punt. It will be Caleb Perry standing back at his own 25 with the clock ticking down underneath 7:15 to go in the first quarter. Here on the Georgetown Community Hospital, Battle of the Birds. Scott County leads Great Crossing 7-zip.
And you know what? Good call. You probably football-wise, you open the book. You probably have to punt here.
Somebody moved. I think it was Great Crossing. Looked like the right side of the line. Scott County applauding. So that would take all the mystery out of it.
There you go.
You don't have to watch for the fake as closely, I think, on 4th and 6 at this point.
Now we punt as far as we can.
We do want to mention last year, Great Crossing got its one touchdown. It was looked like a quick kick situation, and Perry threw a deep ball, and they caught everybody napping and scored their only points in that one. So anything's possible out of this formation with Perry back there. And we got another flag and another round of applause from Scott County. I think if you're Great Crossing, you've got to be wary of Scott County's ability to get penetration and get the block, which is what is causing all of this herky-jerkiness.
Exactly. Because Scott County, they're in on every single punt. So now you got the guys up front for Great Crossing anxious to get to their block, and they're jumping off sides.
And Brian Station's punter and kicker must have had nightmares last week. Perry barely gets that one off. Very similar situation. And it will take a generous roll for Great Crossing to the Scott County 36 before Casey Fain pounces on it. 6:39 remaining first quarter. Let's talk about a few more sponsors, Derek.
A couple more sponsors here. As I mentioned before, Georgetown Community Hospital, thank you for sponsorship tonight. West Banco, by all accounts, better. Greens Toyota of Lexington, great people, great cars, thank Greens. Oser Paint and Flooring, your hometown paint and flooring connection. Scott County Veterinary Clinic. We love and treat your pets like our own. Come join the Scott County Veterinary Clinic family.
First down for the Cardinals. It's Jones. He breaks away, spins free. He's got the first down and more up just shy of midfield. You had him for no gain, maybe even a tackle for loss. But it was 14 yards before Caleb Perry got a hold of him.
Well, somebody got a hold of him and somebody got brutalized trying to get a hold of him right there. That was a big run. I mean, that's 190, 195 pounds coming down.
You got to be ready to tackle a full-grown man if you're going to stop Tago Jones.
That's coming
as he spins free. He's a guy that's going to play somewhere in a couple of years at the next level. There's no question about that. Scott County, new fresh set of downs at its own 49. Once again, it's handed off up the middle, but it's Hamilton.
Yep.
He took the little bit of a counter to the right and then cut it back to the middle, and he will be up close to, if not past, another first down, and it is time to move the chains once again.
It's going to be a long night for Great Crossing if the first guy that touches them is one of the defense is somebody in the secondary, and that's what's happened on these last two.
I mean, Scott County's just finding ways to punish them for 10 yards, 15 yards a pop, and it is, as you said, going to be a long night.
Yep.
First and 10 at the Great Crossing 40. Quick out to the receiver. The slot man is Paul Garner, the sophomore. We know that last name is PG1 or PG4 was his big brother, Philip, but Paul, a star of the freshman game here last year, which Scott County won 7-6, getting it done on Friday Night Lights. A gain of 15, call it, to the 26 of the Warhawks.
Scott County still continues just to eat up yards.
The pitch to Jackson Saylor. He's got a lot of room on the right edge, and he gets taken down by Perry and Fain. They threw a flag. Is it going to be a hold, a face mask, a horse collar?
It could
be any of the above.
On that tackle,
now it's a hold.
Okay.
I was wondering that. It was a great tackle, but it was up around the shoulder blades. But it is going to go against Scott County, be 10 yards from the spot. Once again, down in distance for the Cardinals. Always pretty crucial, but then it's not going to be a full 10-yard penalty. Once they mark it off, it'll be 1st and 16.
Right.
5:27 remaining first quarter. Cards up 7-0 over the Warhawks. Good crowd. Obviously not the 7,000 plus we all were here and part of last year, but we thank you for joining us out there at newsgraphic.com and the NFHS Network and wherever you're watching this game and celebrating with your family and friends. Hope you're doing it responsibly and having a good time. Here's another quick out to Garner. They found something there on the left edge. Garner down to the 20 before he's tackled by 3 Warhawks. Perry in the middle of it again, along with number 57, Kyle Oakes.
Different little package there with Garner in with the two little screens.
Garner with 2 catches now, and that's good to get Zane Patton's confidence. He only completed 2 passes all of last week, and instead of going deep, he's making some nice, convenient, quick throws. Another move the stack kind of run with number 7. No, I guess it's number 1, or number 2 rather. That's Jones.
That's
Those numbers are horrible to read once again, but it is Tago. I'm so used to him running up the middle. He kind of took it to the left there, down toward
kind of bounced a little bit.
Down toward the outside, which you don't see him do, down to the 12-yard line where it'll be another first down for Scott County. So they picked it up. They erased that penalty with the throw to Garner, and then Jones picking it up the easy way. And now a throw to a wide open Cam Lay. You were calling for that play all of last week, and you finally got it. Zane Patton with his first varsity touchdown pass.
Good confidence right there for Zane Patton, you know. And that's the thing about it. He engineers a drive all the way downfield, and when your line's blocking the way they're blocking and your running backs are hitting the big holes, then, hey, you know what? We're going to be able to raise up and just throw a dime to a wide-open Cam Lay.
And when you can run in every direction, every which way but loose, it sets up that play action beautifully, and that's what happened there. Lay was all by himself in the back of the end zone. Kick by Bainge is good with 4:16 remaining in first quarter. It's the Scott County Cardinals 14, the Great Crossing Warhawks 0.
Way was way open, wasn't it?
Lay, 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 lady, lay. I think that might be Cam's first varsity touchdown as well. Any other sponsors we want to mention on the list, Derek, in this first go-around?
Absolutely. We got People's Bank working together, building success. Come see us at 101 Canewood Center Drive. Time to Shine Car Wash. Your car will shine at Time to Shine Car Wash. 8 Lexington area locations to serve you. Steve Skierman, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to meet all your insurance needs. Burger King, home of the Whopper. That might be 2 Whoppers for $5 just in case.
You know, that might be a bargain right now.
That would absolutely, I would love to do that, but just will not. 2 Georgetown locations, Domino's Pizza. Come check out our new Georgetown location on the corner of Champion Way and US 25. Thank you to all those sponsors. That took me about 3 different segments there to get through, but that's a good problem to have when you have a lot of sponsors.
We appreciate you all here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, brought to you by News Graphic and the NFHS Network. 14-0 Scott County. Bainge puts the ball in the air once again. We'll see what the Warhawks can do. It's a return by number 4, Drake Bird. He doesn't get very far. A little pushing and shoving and fisticuffs down there.
A little chippy.
What you might expect is look like Luttrell and Frazier getting into it. I think that'll be offsetting more or less. But as the officials, you got to throw the flag there and keep control of this game.
Right.
Ball will be spotted at or near the, well, where the officials are standing is not where it's spotted right now. It'll be around the 25-yard line of Great Crossing.
I'd like to see Great Crossing put together a good confidence building drive right here. That'd be nice to see.
They did that last week plenty of times. Sure. They put up a good 300-plus yards of offense against Woodford County, but they stymied themselves, as we said, with the turnovers. 4 of them put them in bad spots defensively and really put their backs against the wall, I guess you could say.
Well, no matter what they do, I'm still going to put tonight. I'm going to put the uniforms and the helmets up against anybody in the state tonight.
Man, even without the sun now,
ooh,
just the Friday night lights shining down on them. They are a thing of beauty. That silver. I think they had a contest this summer where they might have won or been one of the finalists for best helmets in the state of Kentucky. Perry now lining up at quarterback, and they've gone back to what they know, and he gets to the outside and gets a first down before he's taken down. He gets out past the 35.
I'm gonna have to text my boy Brian Milam here in a minute, Cal, and just get him on these Great Crossing helmets tonight. He'll love
AJ
that.
Young made the tackle. Those are beautiful helmets for the 11 o'clock news. For
Absolutely.
Sure. It'll be a fresh set of downs for the Warhawks at their own 36. We'll see Broughton come back into the huddle now. You may see a mix and match there. I've never been a big believer in the 2 quarterback system. In high school, sometimes it works because you're dealing with it. It can catch kids off guard. What they prepare for all week is not what they see.
And I'm sure they're going to stick with this triple option here.
Oh, that's their bread and butter now as Colbert gets wrapped up, spins forward for a gain of maybe a yard. But the center of that Scott County line just unforgiving. We got one down, though, after the play. Hope that's nothing serious. And he's kind of motionless.
Yeah, he is.
That is not good. And Trainer Dan rushing right out there to see what's going on. The crowd here on both sides kind of hushed. That was an ugly.
Yeah, you hate
I
seeing
don't know.
that.
I don't know if he kind of took a knee to the helmet or what.
I don't know if you saw, but did the
no, he's sitting up now quickly.
Whoever ran the ball right there.
Cade Tackett.
Cade
Tackett. He
jumped up. I don't need y'all.
That's like me waking up from the snooze button in the morning and I realize I'm 10 minutes late. And now he thinks he's going to stay in the game. And they say, no, son, you're going to have to at least go over to the sideline and go through the protocols. Wow.
Cade is tough as nails, buddy. I mean, I guess he came too.
I guess. Whatever that was, he snapped right out of it. It's good to see, but we certainly don't want to make light of it because it's a scary situation. And we know a lot of care is taken. Our friends at Bluegrass Orthopedics, Dan and Hannah and the crew down there are going to make sure everything's good before Cade gets back in the game. 2nd and 9 from the 37. They'll run it wide with Perry, and he'll stretch the ball out. But again, another nice ankle tackle. Solo job by Scott County.
Perry, Caleb Perry, just he kind of has probably a Saturday morning like Campton Martin has, where you wake up and your first words are "ow," just because of how much they do and how much they're dependent on out here on the field on both sides of the ball.
Fittingly enough, Camp made that tackle.
Right.
It's 3rd and 8. From the 37 of Great Crossing.
One receiver wide here.
It is Broughton under center. You got to watch for wherever Perry is on the field if you're Scott County. Broughton drops back. He steps the rush.
Oh, he's got –
they kind of a little incidental contact. The ref kind of reached and said nope.
Their feet got
He
tangled.
thought better of it. It was a tangle of the feet between Jeremy Hamilton for Scott County and Kelly, the intended receiver. Great Crossing fans don't like it.
Right. There's nothing there. It's just that they don't understand. They think when a man gets touched, it's automatically passing.
I think either man could have complained there because the ball was up for grabs for Hamilton as well. So it's going to be another punt for Great Crossing with 2:29 remaining here in the first quarter. Scott County in control 14-0 early in the second battle of the Birds.
One thing count on right here, Cal. They're coming after it.
Once again, they have gotten to almost every punt this season. They didn't block one last week. They finally blocked an extra point against Bryan Station. There it is. It's blocked. Martin was there. Young is there as well. The ball bouncing around at the 10-yard line. Scott County falls on it where it will be 1st and goal, Cardinals. And Young fell on it, but I believe it was Martin. It might have gone off his own man's backside.
That was in my script here, Cal.
You've hit them both between the play action and now the punt block. Scott County recovers, and they're already getting the PAT ready down here.
Oh my goodness.
The confidence is brimming right now.
Yep. I think we'll get a little Tego action right here.
I think maybe that is a safe bet. Although the stuff on the edge has worked all night long.
He likes his jet sweep right here, right in this area.
They will go up the middle with Tego on 1st down as he's squirming and stretching and clawing. And Coach McKee doesn't really like that on 1st and goal, as he has made abundantly clear to me in a couple of interviews since the fumble last week. But Jones' forward progress stopped at about the 6, it looks like. Where it'll be 2nd and goal in under 2 minutes here in the first quarter.
I really want to seriously dissect and learn more about how Scott County gets to every single punt. And you have to watch film on them. You have to see what they're good at on special teams. And it seems like every team they play, if they don't block the punt, they're right on top of the punter's foot.
We have a timeout here for Scott County. Big D, Mike Davis, the special teams coach for Scott County. And, he's been a head coach at Grant County and just he's also the running backs coach. So 2 very potent groups on this team he's involved in. Of course, Scott Willard, the perennial offensive line coach, the venerable Scott Willard. He's along with McKee. They are certainly veterans of this game that have won a bunch together, along with the defensive coordinator, Monty McIntyre, as you mentioned. So it's an advantage when you've got guys who, A, have been head coaches in high school, or B, probably should be somewhere on your staff. And Scott County, just the continuity right now puts them on the plus side of this rivalry so far.
And it also helps having a lot of talent rolling through as well.
You do have a lot of that talent if you're the Cardinals, and the apprenticeship, as we mentioned last week. I like to use that word with Zane Patton in particular, because He did what he had to do on the freshman and JV teams to wait his turn, and now that he's a senior, throws a good ball there to Cam Lay to get this one going tonight. He's throwing a couple passes to Paul Garner, a sophomore, who's already
nice little package.
You know,
right
the
there.
beat goes on for the Cardinals when you've got guys like that already in the lineup contributing. A little confusion there, but they work the edge again. It's Saylor knocking somebody over. The collision got the better of the Great Crossing would-be tackler, and Saylor got a couple more yards out of it to the 3, where it will be 3rd and goal.
And when we're discussing, Scott County and their future. Hey, that's taking nothing away from Great Cross. Great Crossing's got a lot of talent. It's just all so new. The programs,
they're so young still,
We're referring to Scott County during this because of the system that they've come through for so many. And these kids, for Great Crossing have done the same
Toss
thing.
to Martin for his 2nd touchdown of the night, untouched from 3 yards out. And it's about to be 21-0, pending the PAT by Jacob Baines with 1:10 remaining in the first quarter. So Martin got the block on the punt, and fittingly, he will finish the drive.
Rewarding.
Yeah,
I like that.
Give the guy, put you in that position. He certainly had a big hand in the win last week with the 2 interceptions and the blocked PAT. Baines will try to kick his 3rd of the night. It is good, and boy, I'm glad that sun's gone down.
Yes.
It's a beautiful night here at Bird's Nest Stadium as the seizure-inducing red lights go off.
There they are.
21-0 Cardinals over the Warhawks.
Pardon me while I have one real quick.
Here on the Georgetown Community Hospital Battle of the Birds broadcast at NFHS Network and newsgraphic.com. I want to thank our producer here on the premises, James Scoggin, our photographer as well, my photographer. You'll be able to check this game story out at newsgraphic.com before midnight tonight. That's my promise to you if we get out of here at a good hour anyway. And then, of course, subscribe, catch all the updates from both schools. Sports are in full bloom here Tuesdays and Fridays, only in the News Graphic.
And as before mentioned, when we talked about Brian Milam, all your highlights from this one and around the state, high school game time. About 11:15, 11:20.
Yeah, you gotta mention your home base too.
Right, I mean, that's a plug, but
you gotta get in a word edgewise.
Then again, I'm thinking, who doesn't watch high school game time on Friday night? That's only because I'm slightly biased.
I'm never home in time, but I try to
awesome.
tape,
Brian Milam,
record them all if I can.
Lee K. Howard are unbelievable. Do a great job.
Good people here in the Lexington market that we're fortunate to be friends with. A deep kick that
nice
time
kick.
As Perry.
I don't think
not
I
Perry,
kicking to him, no.
But it's going to be a long return by Mr. Bird out
Drake
past
Bird.
midfield. Fly like a bird in the Battle of the Birds. Drake Bird. Maybe they won't kick it deep next time,
Right.
as maybe there was a method to the madness on the shallow kick.
Drake did a fantastic job
Drake
right
Bird
there, Cal.
runs at 50 yards.
He let the wedge become a wedge. He gets in between it, and then he bounces outside. Did a great job. Drake's
Bird
a great athlete. Great athlete.
Bird was streaking down this Scott County sideline. He's only a sophomore. We mentioned, we're going to be mentioning a lot of names of guys that are sophomores, juniors. This is going to be a growing program, as you've mentioned.
Yes. Which majority of the kids, they did come through the Scott County system, but then once you reach, get to high school and you're on your second head coach, you got to learn all new systems where the kids who stayed at Scott County are in the same system, with Coach McKee and repetition.
As Coach McKee mentioned the other day, too, when I was talking with him, he said, look, their school already has about 500 more kids than ours.
Oh, yeah.
And Great Crossing, indeed, that was his quote. And Great Crossing will be moving up to 6A, and his team will be moving to 5A. So if you're on the Scott County side, you're thinking, well, we won't have to deal with them in the district necessarily. We know this will be an annual game.
Yeah, this is great.
And if you're Great Crossing, you're thinking, man, it'll be good to get them out of our district, and we can deal with, of course, you're opening up another can of worms, because who knows what 6A teams they will be paired up with if that's the case next year. But you're going to have a program that's coming of age at that point and ready to go.
I think the pieces of the puzzle are in place, Cal. I mean,
Coach Bowling,
he really does.
He's going to do a good job here. He's the man, the right man for the job. A lot of things went awry in that first year. The first guy that they hired left early. Coach Raines kind of took over on a temporary interim basis. And, of course, he kind of knew he was going to be one and done, I think. And that left the Warhawks in a tough situation, but a good situation because they had a young and rising assistant on their staff. And Bowling, a record-setting quarterback, for those of you who don't know his background, if you look at the KHSAA record book, his name is above the name of a couple of guys named Couch and Redmond. So he is in some exclusive territory as a player.
He could sling it.
He's just turned 30 years old, a young, vivacious coach, and he's going to lead the Warhawks to good things.
He absolutely is. You know, he's going to, for one thing, he's going to work hard, and you got to get kids that are new in a new system. They have to buy into your system. It's just not like putting kids out there in the field and say, hey, let's go. They got to buy into your system. You got to have a fantastic weight program. And these guys, you know, they got to believe. And I think
reverse to Perry. They read it pretty well, but he made a man miss, and now he squirms away from another. There's a flag down, though. Perry spins for a would-be first down, but let's see. It's in a spot where there's going to be a hold, and it's going to be 10 from the spot. Indeed, that will be the case, and they'll mark it off against the Warhawks. So a good, well-designed play there, and we're seeing how Perry can hurt you in different ways. He can line up under center kind of as a wildcat. He can run reverses. He can catch passes.
He's a great size athlete. I mean, he's long. He's also got muscle on him. You know, we saw that in basketball this past year when he would come in and you know, he was kind of the rough guy underneath. And you see how much he's dependent on here in this Warhawk offense.
I believe he's listed at 6'4", 190. He has 4 offers already from West Virginia, Cincinnati, and Boston College. So no joke there. Perry, only a junior. Broughton drops back, floats on a little middle screen there to Fain. They can't stop him at the point of attack. He squirms away, gets out of bounds on the Great Crossing sideline. They will mark it at about the 42. They got back a lot of what they lost there. Now they put it at the 43. It'll be 2nd and 7. They get the first down over again after the hold. We are in the final minute of the first quarter. Scott County leads 21-0 over the Great Crossing Warhawks. Jake Broughton, the senior quarterback, under center. Kevin O'Doherty is the center. Perry split out to the right. Single coverage with Hamilton, probably the 2 best athletes on the field there. Broughton will try to find him. He underthrows. Hamilton was the closest guy to the ball. That'll stop the clock with 34 seconds left in the period.
And you know what? Right now, taking shots, I'm okay with that. Hey, put Perry out there and let him go up and get it.
Drake Bird.
He's got an athlete of Jeremy Hamilton on him.
Drake Bird put them in good position to do a few things by crossing midfield, gave them some flexibility here. As it's probably 4-down territory. You're down 21-0. You're in Scott County territory at the 43. I think you got to throw caution to the wind a little bit. 3rd and 7. Broughton drops back.
Got good time.
A little token pressure there.
Nice.
Fain again. No, it's not Fain. It's Coulter, number 18. He ducks inside close to the marker, right at the stick at the 36.
Yeah.
Now they're going to mark him a half-yard pass out. I think they're going to move it.
Broughton throws a beautiful ball.
He does. Really I see why he won the quarterback derby. Coach Bowling said they had 3 guys that kind of were competing for the job. They lost 1 to injury. I would assume Perry was the 3rd, but I think the more he thought about it, Perry was a guy he could use, put him in a lot of different places.
And that's a no-lose situation because if something happens to Broughton, you bring Perry in there, and you still can keep Perry on the field. That's a good problem to have.
I see about 10 vehicles parked at the church across the way. They've all got binoculars, I'm sure, as there are people who are trying to catch as much of this game as they can, or from the Tim Glenn Vet Clinic over there across the way, where after 1 quarter, they've seen all Scott County so far. It is the Cardinals 21, the Warhawks 0 on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. I want to tell you a little bit about our title sponsor tonight, Georgetown Community Hospital. At Georgetown Community Hospital, we're ready for you when you need to come for health care. We're taking extra steps to ensure a safe environment when you come for care. Our team performs extensive disinfecting procedures, and we're ready to care for our community. Remember to do your part to help. Wear a mask, practice social distancing, and don't delay the care that's so important to your health. And, yeah, that's something that you want to remind people about. We talk a lot about COVID, but everything else about your health is important right now. And don't delay. Know that Georgetown Community Hospital is there for you at a moment's notice. Very fortunate to have them in our community and on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. Derek, what do you think of the first quarter tonight? Kind of what we expected on some level as we get the stats. Total yards 164 to 43. 126 of those were on the ground on 16 attempts.
I think you just gave my answer right there and kind of explained the first quarter right there, Cal. I didn't think it was going to be that fast by Scott County, meaning tempo-wise. But yeah, it's just total domination up front, and that's where it all starts. Obviously, it's up front, and Scott County's eating up big chunks of yards, and they got a big turnover on special teams.
What might be a little bit of a surprise, combined, the ball was in the air 9 times in that first quarter. Broughton 4 for 6. Patton a perfect 3 for 3 with a touchdown pass to Cam Lay. Garner had 2 catches for 26. Perry had the big he had 1 catch. Coulter had 2. Fain had another. They're all kind of short stuff in the flats by Broughton so far. McKee pleading his case about something. I don't know what's going on. They've got the Bluegrass Orthopedics team out there with him.
Was it something wrong with the referees?
I don't know. Did it have to do with Tackett? Tackett's in the game. He has returned to action as he comes back in. I don't know if they had to discuss that first or what.
Possibility.
First down, great crossing at the Scott County 35. Their deepest penetration into Scott County territory tonight. There's a nice quick slant, but it's thrown a little bit behind the receiver as he tried to find Kelly, did Broughton, and it falls incomplete.
They got some nice offensive packages right here, Cal, and what they're doing. I mean, that slant right there, that just has to be thrown, and he'll learn that. That right there, that slant from a quarterback to a receiver, that's repetition. That's just every day running that slant and knowing that, you have to put it, you got to put that ball out in front of him, let him run into it.
They've got a lot of nice little short-range receivers there with Coulter, Fain, Kelly. They've got some pieces on the chessboard, do the Warhawks. Second down and 10. Scott County 35-yard line is great crossing. The kick return by Drake Bird set it up. There's a quick out to Perry. He gets hit hard just shy of the 30. Another safe pass by Broughton. Moves the ball about 4 yards. Good as a running play. And that's what I like with the triple option. One of those options is your quarterback, if he's got an arm, can sling it.
Yep. Like I said, I do like they have a lot of, fake misdirections and screens, slants over the middle. I like that.
I'm a big fan of that dink and dunk style, being a New England Patriots guy,
Well, sure. Well, and with Scott County's front, their defensive front, you have to go on. You have to get to the edges or get some passes completed. You're not
Broughton on third down, drops back again, throws the ball a little bit low and behind his receiver. It's incomplete. He had Perry over there.
He caught that. Did
he really? I thought he caught it off the turf. No. Okay, well, first down Warhawks.
Yep, nice catch. Nice grab.
I'd love to see a replay, but he grabbed it. Our official was a whole lot closer than we are, Derek.
That was called bailing the quarterback out right there.
Yeah, that's when a great athlete makes you look good in the scorebook. It's on the score sheet. It looks like a frozen rope.
That is a complete pass.
And trouble with the snap, but the ball was whistled dead. The play was whistled dead before that. Encroachment on Scott County, so they were over the line offside. It will be that'll make it easier for great crossing. Opens up the playbook a little bit. 1st and 5 at the 16. Yep. I still can't believe Perry caught that pass. I'm scratching my head over that.
Nice drive right here.
This is a good drive. Of course, as we mentioned, set up by the kick return, so gave themselves a short field, but they're doing a lot of nice things with it. And even though that's not an offensive play, it gives your offense life in so many ways. Broughton under center. 1st and 5. He's got Colbert. We haven't seen a lot of Colbert tonight. Certainly Scott County probably keying on him, and as if on cue, Colbert gets the handoff. First man through. He'll get about 3.
And that's the edges and the little dink and dunk opens up your middle right there.
He ran into Mr. Tackett, who none the worse for wear after his incident early in the game. He's been cleared for takeoff as the Cardinals leading tackler from last season that's back on the team this season anyway. He had 43 stops to match his uniform number. 2nd and a long yard from the 13.
Great drive.
Great crossing, trying to get on the board in conventional fashion. They had to use a trick play last year. No trickery here as Broughton will keep it now. Cut it back to the middle. Spinning, carrying tacklers down to the 6. And it will be 1st and goal for the Warhawks.
I think they need to keep the tempo up here as well. Great Crossing does, just to kind of keep Scott County off balance.
Make their defense kind of get them sucking wind a little bit.
Yep, absolutely.
Test their endurance. Week 2 is a different animal than week 1. You got a whole extra week of practice, had time to skill and drill a little bit more and get some things in the package. And you're seeing that from both teams as they're able to get plays in there and run them quickly in bang-bang succession. 1st and goal for Broughton and the Warhawks. He hands off to Colbert. Colbert down to the 2 before he's taken down. A little slap on the back from Tackett, who made the stop.
Ooh, he's running hard.
Good sportsmanship there from Mr. Tackett and Mr. Colbert. He does run hard. He is a load and only a sophomore. He's another one of those freshmen. You talk about the basketball team last year with Fuller, Brown, Colbert all stepping up. There's some great athletes roaming the halls of Great Crossing High School as they try to score their first points of the Battle of the Birds. 9:26 remaining in the half. Man in motion is Perry, but Colbert will take it up the middle untouched. Warhawks on the board with 9:21 remaining.
Hey, he had 3 great runs in that drive right there, and they were up the middle. So I think they found a little something. Well, with the misdirection and being able to get outside, Cal, it's going to open some holes up there up front.
So just what the Warhawks needed at the right time as they summon an answer.
There's a flag out of bounds over here on this side.
Bill Holland saying there's a flag. It was after the play. No, if it was an unsportsmanlike on Scott County. We saw a few of those in this game last year.
Yeah, we did. I don't like seeing
probably a few too many.
Yeah. Well, and these kids come
up
through the system and come up in youth league football playing against each other. Now they're at opposite high schools, and things can get a little chippy.
As Coach McKee said to me the other day, it's a little bit like scuffling with your brother. You know, if you're an 18-year-old with a 16-year-old brother, he's going to get under your skin once in a while. You're going to wrestle with each other. At the end of the day, you slap each other in the back and say, good job. But sometimes there's going to be some
we got twins out wide, both sides here.
Interesting formation as Great Crossing will elect to go for 2, it looks like.
And they will run it with the decoys out on each side.
Colbert in the backfield, the single setback. Now Broughton will throw over there. Now the cut across the middle, but it falls incomplete as Perry couldn't get there. So the PAT, no good. 21-6 your score with 9:21 remaining in the second quarter. That touchdown set up again by the 50-yard kick return by Drake Bird, the sophomore.
Beautiful return. Very patient return, and
he found a seam and went with it.
He did, absolutely.
Right up the middle. He didn't run. It was straight north-south.
As you're supposed to. There is an art, a la Scotty Daniel, of returning kicks. I mean, you don't just pick it up and run. Well, Scott could a little bit because he could outrun everybody, but he's also there's some studying that goes with that, and where your wedge is, and it's timing of when you're hitting the seam. That's what it is. It's complete timing.
And no small amount of courage because there's a good chance you're going to get popped running that way if you're going up the middle. But Bird found daylight. He helped put the Warhawks on the board as Colbert finishes an impressive drive with the 2-yard score. So the Cardinals up 21-6 will receive from Great Crossing. They'll kick off for the second time tonight. Of course, the kickoff will now come from the Scott County 45, so good chance of a touchback if they play their cards right. Or play their Warhawks right, as it were.
Yeah. You think they're going to kick deep here, Cal?
I think they might. This goes through the uprights. Is it like a Canadian football, or are there points involved in it or something? Right, Australian rules, right. The guy in the white suit. Nope. It's going to go shy of the end zone and will be returned from about the 10. Campton Martin has a little daylight on the outside, but he's taken down at the 28.
He knows how to return one.
He's done it a few times in interceptions, kicks. He scored 2 touchdowns on the ground already tonight.
If people did not see his first interception last week, the catch that was made was
one hand,
left-handed, but it was his.
And it wasn't even his hand; it was like his forearm, right, and he pulled it down to his body.
I'm looking on the ground for the ball. I'm thinking he knocked the ball down, and he called that.
You want to talk about a play? It was tough to see what happened until you saw it when you got home. But Martin deservedly getting a drink from trainer Dan on the sideline. First and 10 for the Cardinals at their own 28. Zane Patton under center. Montego Jones at fullback. They will go. The wide man is Hamilton. He will find some room on the outside toward his own sideline.
Nice run. Nice
Gets
tackle.
another first down for Scott County up past the 38. Just past the marker. I say that, but will there be a measurement? They haven't moved anything yet. Now they mark it back a little bit. Yep, signal is first down. 8:59 remaining in the half. Clock rolling. Cardinals not wasting any time getting up to the line. They'll hand it to Jones. Boom, 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 up to midfield. 5 different Warhawks on top of him. Perry, of course, one of them.
I think Tago would be the first one to tell you, watch these guys in front of me, what I'm running through here. Watch this hole that I'm running through.
Number 25, Mackay Wilson, was there as well. And a cast of about a half dozen.
A flock of hawks?
A flock of hawks.
That's not like seagulls, is it?
No.
Here we go.
Space Age love song. Here's the outside run and the cutback by Saylor, and there's going to be a holding penalty there, I think, and some more histrionics. Well, pushing and shoving, and finally, Scott County's player got a push from his own man saying, think, son, think.
Here comes Paul Garner.
Can't take any stupid penalties. Spencer Wood was the guy who stepped up on behalf of his team and said, let's use our heads here. They will mark off at least 10 against the Cardinals. You got to keep an eye on Paul Garner now when he's in the game.
He's back. Little number 4 is back in the game. Paulie.
Mark back from the spot 10 yards. It'll be, again, about a 6-yard penalty in the exchange. So 1st and 16 from the Scott County 44. We have 8:19 to play in the second quarter. Scott County up 21-6 over Great Crossing in the Georgetown Community Hospital Battle for the Birds. Here on NFHS Network and News Graphic. A little late handoff there, and he was Hamilton almost paying the price with a loss, but he got something out of nothing. He dragged number 22 from Great Crossing. That's Caden Allen for a couple of yards. But Allen applauding because he read it perfectly.
Yeah, he did. That's he stayed at home well on that one, and that's one of those where you might want to tell Jeremy Hamilton, hey, go ahead and get down. You know, you're standing up when they got a hold of you from behind. You're going to get decapitated.
Just a Chamber of Commerce Friday night. If you can look at the backdrop here at Bird's Nest Stadium, just a beautiful evening for football.
Beautiful.
Faked the handoff twice, and then Patton finds, guess who? Paul Garner at the 40, quickly wrapped up by Fisher, but the chains will move one more time.
Paul Garner, 3 catches. That's probably over 40 yards right there, right?
I apologize. That was Jarve Ray on the tackle, number 24. But Garner with his 3rd catch of the night. How many times do you see a Scott County receiver with 3 catches in a game? Right. And we've got 7:22 left in the first half. Scott County on the move again, leading 21-6 and looking for more. They're at the Great Crossing 40. Handoff to Jones, boom, up to the 34, make it the 33.5 as he got a gain of 6 there behind the right side of the Scott County line.
Yeah, that right side of the line.
They're mixing it up so much better than they did last week, I think.
Well, I think it goes. That's, hats off to Bryan Station. That's one of their better teams.
And just, it is. And just another week in the books to work on some things. Martin with tons of room on the left side. He will take it down inside the 20. The toss play works like a charm once again for number 5. And he takes it down to the Warhawks 17-yard line.
Are we going to see Mr. Lay again?
It could be time.
I'm calling it.
No one can eat just one.
That's exactly right.
He's wanting to eat again. The toss this way toward the press box to Saylor, spins to the 10 before he's taken down by Mr. Perry.
Coach McKee calls a quick one. Before the play was even finished, he was already calling his play into Zane Patton.
I got a feeling much of this first half is scripted, just from the way it's coming in so quickly compared to last week.
You got timeout, Great Crossing?
Yeah, I think it's a good timeout.
They're sucking air there.
They're using their second one of the half. Each team will have one after this, I believe. 6:15 remaining in the second quarter. Want to mention that after the game, we'll have our players of the game, the defensive player of the game by our title sponsor, Georgetown Community Hospital, and offensive player of the game, Galvin's on Main. where, of course, many of you are watching this game, hopefully tonight. I want to thank you for joining us on the NFHS Network, the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, newsgraphic.com.
However you tune in, we appreciate it.
We appreciate you by the thousands tonight.
Absolutely.
I heard the numbers from last week's game, and they caused me to do a triple take. And just to imagine what we might have for an audience tonight is humbling indeed, and
very much so.
A little scary at times.
When
but
you saw the numbers last weekend and the words right after the numbers were, "This is not a typo."
No, Mr. Wells was quite happy with
absolutely.
the initial feedback. 2nd and 3 from the 10. Scott County threatening once more. Handoff to Jones, but he doesn't get much, only a couple.
Fantastic tackle.
And a flag comes in very, very, very late. I mean, from this guy over here.
Yeah. There must have been some kind of, was there a punch?
That was well after the play.
Very much so.
Allen in on the tackle, along with Lacasco. Are they going to wave it off? Nope. It's a personal foul. It's against Scott County.
Yep.
It was too late to be holding.
Right. Well, somebody getting off the pile, I think, either pushed or did something.
Said a word that
could have been.
His mom wouldn't want to hear him say.
Could have been.
Whatever it was, it's going to be marked off 15, and that's a costly one. They were down inside the 10, and now they are backed up to the Great Crossing 22. What will the down be after this? It will stay 2nd down.
Tight end pop coming.
Or does the play count, and is it marked off after the play?
Yeah, dead ball foul.
Okay, so it remains. Now they've set it back to 1st down. Okay. So they got the 1st down, and it was after the play, but it's going to be 1st and 10, so it's not really going to hurt them other than the fact that they're farther away from the end zone, but they've got a fresh set of downs to work with. 1st and 10 at the Great Crossing 22. Scott County 6:07 remaining in the half, leading 21-6. Jones up the middle, finds a lot of room, spins inside the 10, and it will be 1st and goal, barring any laundry.
And took it back where? Right to the original
Right to where it was a minute ago when all heck broke loose for a moment.
Referee wasted his time a little bit there.
Ball spotted on the right hash marks between the 8 and the 9. Scott County will have 1st and goal, 4 chances to punch it in here and really extend this lead out. Campton Martin going left as he has all night long. Will he find his 3rd TD? He will high step it in.
As he waited on that kick out block there, Cal, when he turned the corner.
Tremendous block. I believe Spencer Wood over there had the last word, and that was it. And the horn goes off again, the train whistle. Scott County expanding the lead to 27-6, and another chance for Bange to split the uprights and add another.
Take advantage of taking the extra point.
He hit the school.
Splits the uprights for a 28-6 lead.
Right off the the
4
field
for
house
4. 4 for 4 when you can. Want to thank James Scoggin, our producer on site. It has been a lot to get the broadcast on tonight through technical difficulties throughout the day. And if you're listening at newsgraphic.com or through that link, it took a lot to bring the game to you tonight. So I want to give a call to James. I want to thank Mike Scoggin back at the office as well. I want to thank you for joining us on all platforms tonight, as this has been a good one so far. I think both teams can be happy with a few elements of it. Scott County certainly looking more like Scott County, as they have scored on just about every possession tonight. I think 4 for 4, in fact, to build this 28-6 lead. But Great Crossing put together a nice drive,
very nice
combined with a kick return, got on the board in straightforward fashion.
Let's see if they kick to Mr. Drake Bird again.
Bange kicking off for Scott County.
Kick falls, a little miscommunication there. A couple of Warhawks at the 20, but it will come down and will be returned by DeQuise Brown up past the 25 to about the 27. Young and Wilhite on top. Good to see Andrew Wilhite back out there this week, as he had got knocked around a little bit at the end of that one a week ago.
He had a stinger. I didn't know if it was collarbone, which kind of
scared
me.
He didn't know what it was either.
Yeah.
Great Crossing starts this drive at its own 27.
See him put together one here.
Broughton pitch, a late pitch, kind of behind his man, and they will lose yardage as Peyton Harris had to kind of recover, and that slowed him down, and the pursuit by the Cardinals caught him at the 25.
That option's there. It just, you can't have a pitch behind the guy.
No, it's all about timing, and that's
Absolutely.
the only thing
everything's timing.
The only thing I've not liked about the triple option offense over the years, we've got another penalty on Scott County. Might have been a 5-yard face mask. The thing about the triple option I was saying is those pitches at the last second.
And your quarterback usually takes a pop right there as well.
Yeah, because you're putting him out there.
If he's going to pitch, that means I'm getting ready to get hit.
1st and 7, the unusual combination after that penalty marked off. That pass was knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and they're lucky it wasn't picked off.
Yeah.
Landed at the feet of a couple of offensive linemen, incomplete.
That is a lot of pressure being applied to Broughton, and he's doing the best he can. He's only, right there's only a 3-step drop, and he's barely able to get rid of the ball.
It's a good down to try to throw it on 1st and 7, because you kind of it's kind of a freebie. So now it's 2nd and 7 at the 30. Broughton hands off to Colbert straight up the middle. He won't get much back past the original line of scrimmage, or actually
a 3rd and 4,
maybe a yard 2, and they're going to give him 3, a generous spot.
Yep.
3rd and 4. What's your call on 3rd and 4? They've shown they have some options.
They'll get
3 of them.
I think they'll try to get back to the edge. This is a Caleb Perry call right here.
I think you got to get him. It's been a while since we've called his name on offense.
And he's
split out right.
And he can get, just by getting hit, he's going to get you 2 more yards.
He is a full-grown man. Broughton will throw it over the middle, as good as a punt, I guess. He finds his man, and that's going to be an easy touchdown for number 18, Jacob Coulter. And with Perry on the other side, it attracts a lot of attention, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
57-yard strike from Jake Broughton to Jacob Coulter, Jake to Jake. And just like that, the Warhawks back in business. They've cut the lead to at least 28-12.
The defender here on the corner, timing jumped a little early to deflect the pass, and he couldn't reach it.
Single coverage, and he lofted it beautifully over that coverage and found his man in stride.
Very nice pass. As they go for 2 again.
With 4:33, yeah. Now you kind of got to chase the points.
Sure.
You've set that agenda. You're not going to kick. I believe their kicker is a soccer player who might be in quarantine, so that has cut their options a little bit tonight. And the pass is going to fall incomplete. They tried to find Coulter again, but nothing there. The score will be Scott County 28, Great Crossing 12, with 4:33 remaining here in the first half.
Coach Monty's there to meet him.
He probably wasn't happy with that, as they got caught napping a little bit there.
Yeah, that was just straight mano-a-mano, one-on-one out on the deep downfield. You have to make a play on that defensively.
So Jake Broughton showing his arm strength as he lofted a beauty there to Jacob Coulter.
I think we're getting ready to see more of that. I think they may open it up just a little bit here.
They don't have a lot of choice right now, being down 28-12, but you know what? They're doing some positive things. The tone of this game just a lot different from a year ago. Great Crossing looks like a team that's ready for varsity football here in the year 2020, and will be heard from very soon. From tonight.
Much improved, absolutely. Well, kids in the system last year have matured.
An extra year in the weight room,
right.
and a lot of time in the weight room from May, June, July, and most of August this year. That was really all they could do, and work outside in groups of 10 with traffic cones and such, but not really a lot of practice with a football until 4 weeks ago.
I think they'll kick away from Jeremy. Well, you got, choose your poison back there. Campton Martin and Jeremy Hamilton.
Ball
Campton
comes down just past the 20. It is Campton Martin. He will stretch it out over the 40 up to the 44, and the Cardinals will have pretty good field position as they will try to tack one on here before the end of the half. Pilot Lacasco made the stop for the Warhawks. His name's been called plenty of times here in the first half. Is
very active.
Warhawks, I like. Again, they swarm to the ball too. They've come up through the same system in a lot of ways as their brethren from Scott County here. Hand off to Tago Jones. He finds daylight, as has been the case much of the night.
He is going to eventually break one of those, Cal.
He gained 15 more there to the Great Crossing 41.
He will break one of those soon.
Just grinding and grinding. And Scott County will wear you down with that offense. They will hit you death from 1,000 paper cuts.
Uh-oh.
There's another cut from Hamilton as he gets hit low, but not before he gets past the 30 for another Cardinal first down. Under 4 minutes to go in the half.
Again, you don't want the first man to deliver the blow to be in the defensive secondary. It means he's gotten way too far downfield.
Getting to that second level and then trying to tackle a guy like Hamilton who we know can put a hurt on you if he gets a full head of steam.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And whistles all over the place. Is this an official's timeout?
Timeout.
Bill Holland saying Warhawks. I don't know if it's a mandated water break or what it is. We got 3:43 remaining in the second quarter. Scott County leads 28-12 over Great Crossing here on a gorgeous Friday night. Fall-like, autumnal, a little breezy, little nip in the air.
A little crisp.
We've got the
I love it.
We've got the pullovers.
We've got
on.
our uniforms.
We've got the bird's nest pullovers on, and I'm almost sliding the sleeves down. It's getting a little cool.
I was debating. I was thinking, I'll get a little too hot. And I looked down today when I was driving. I saw 65 degrees at one point, and then
I saw
it got to about 72.
Yep.
It's not that now.
No, it isn't. And I was looking at some of Chris Bailey's tweets today and what it was like last year at this time, being reminded that we didn't have a day this cool, a night this cool until like the second week of October last year.
That's right.
It was pretty much 90 degrees the whole month of September and never rained a drop.
Ooh.
So, different story. Boy, just a beautiful, beautiful time of year, though, here in Central Kentucky. And hope you're here at the game, but if you're not listening on the premises, we're glad you're joining us. Scott County once again with the ball. A sweep for Jackson Saylor. He's got nothing but room out there. Past the 20, inside the 15. Another flag comes in.
There was absolutely nobody. That was that's about the third man through, if you know what I mean, on a jet sweep. It's about a two fake, and then here comes Jackson Saylor, which that's all Jackson Saylor runs right there.
No, they're going to call another hold on Scott County. There have been a lot of holds on Scott County tonight after the man was 5-10 yards downfield, and it's just those are the ones leave you scratching your head. It's like, son, you don't need to do anything there. Just let Mr. Saylor do what he does. So they'll get marked back to the 22. It'll be the odd combination of first down and 3, maybe a long 3.
I think Coach McKee's too pleased right now.
You know, there are some teachable moments certainly for him, but it's a different look than last week. As Campton Martin looking for touchdown number 4, another flag comes in, is going to wipe it out though.
Yep.
He gets in the end zone, but I believe it's going to come back as that's in a spot where it's going to be another hold.
There is a reason that play keeps working.
There's a lot of daylight.
There's a hold on the edge.
And again, if you just let Campton Martin do his thing, he's going to score anyway.
He is.
There is nothing that the hold really did to make that would-be touchdown happen. It's going to be marked back to the 30, so I've lost track of what down. It's still first down.
Yep.
First down and 11.
Campton gets a breath on the sideline.
Campton has the first half hat trick of 3 touchdowns. He was going for the grand slam, I guess, to mix our metaphors. Up the middle with Tago. They figure there'll be no holding on that play. He'll get a couple. Warhawks right there all over it, though.
I think it's time for Camelot.
Caden Allen was the first one to hit Jones. He's been in on several stops tonight.
It's coming. It's coming, Cal.
And
we haven't put one in the air in a while.
that one took a long time to develop, and
nice.
Hamilton got tripped up easily as it was read by Mackay Wilson.
Yep, defensive end stayed over here. Nice.
That one just took too long. There were 3 or 4 fakes, and Hamilton had a guy right on top of him when he got the ball. So it's going to be 3rd and 14. So what looked like another fairly easy touchdown drive has turned into an uphill battle for the Cardinals. Up the middle with Jones. That's been good for 10 or 15 yards all night, so why not? He'll get back about 8 of it. And another flag and more pushing and shoving, and now cooler heads will prevail again as Chase Little comes in for the Warhawks and bails out his teammate.
And he got removed from the game. You don't ever want to get removed from the game by your head coach.
Yeah.
Coach McKee was able to catch him and say, hey, over here, not back on the field.
Don't make the refs do it, because that can cost you next week's game.
Correct. A little too much laundry on the field for Scott County.
There has been the emotions have boiled over a few times after the play, and now you see a fist pump there, a bump between Montego Jones and I think it was Trey Combs. The personal foul's on Great Crossing this time.
Yeah, it's going back and forth.
And that will be a first down for the Cardinals in that exchange. So
the second guy, the one who retaliates, normally is the one who gets called.
That's just like in hockey. It's just like in basketball. It's just like in anything. So it'll be a first down for the Cardinals at the 13-yard line with under 2 minutes to go. Plenty of time for SC to pile up another one. 1:58 to play.
My old high school coach, Cal, not mentioning any words, not mentioning any names, but he would always say, choose your time, boys. Don't do it right in front of the referee.
Pick it wisely.
Yes.
There's a tough tackle there as Campton Martin gets thrown out of bounds by Caden Allen. Fisher was there. Wilson was there. So the Warhawks all over that one.
Yeah, they're getting to the ball.
Martin, other than the one that was called back, hasn't gotten much to this side of the field. When he goes left, he's found plenty of daylight and pay dirt. Got about a yard there. It'll be 2nd down and 9. 1:44 to play. Might have worked out well for the Cardinals because they're draining most of what was left of this first half clock. It's down to 1:44. It's stopped right now.
That seam is open.
Man in motion is Saylor. It's a pitch to Hamilton. Plenty of room on the left side.
Oh, good pursuit.
Waited for his blocker. And he got wrapped up at about the 8.
It's a great tackle. It's a great pursuit out there. I didn't think he was going to get there.
Caleb Shively made the stop. He went a long way to make that.
He did. He really did.
Make that throw down. It'll be 3rd and about 5. Make it 4 from the Great Crossing 7. 75 seconds remaining, first half. Jones, can he get there? Stretches out, gets over the line.
Pay dirt.
Touchdown,
Pay dirt.
Scott County.
Pay dirt.
Montego Jones, a little anxious moment when he reaches out for the goal line after last week, but he found a way to punch it in, and Scott County hangs its 5th touchdown of the half with 1:07 to play. Will Hyde holding for Bange.
We know I was going to ask. You haven't on the defensive side. Is Andrew not playing tonight on the defensive side?
I saw him maybe a couple of times out there.
I think the shoulder.
Maybe a little bit on special teams.
Yeah.
Special teams is not a great place to play if you're banged up and don't want to get more banged up. So Montego Jones from 7 yards out adds to the Scott County lead. It is 35-12. Cardinals over the Warhawks.
Is that his 2nd or 3rd touchdown?
That is his, I believe, second. Campton has 3. No, that's his first because Cam Lay has the other one.
That's right.
Tego has not gotten the ball too many times down around the goal line tonight. He got that one last week, which was the game winner.
Yep.
And now he has one tonight from 8 yards out.
He is a load.
Scott County will get the second. Actually, Great Crossing will get the second half kickoff because they deferred. So it's an interesting situation for the Warhawks. Do they sit on it or they try to make something happen here? If they get another return, you would think it would be the latter. Drake Bird had that nifty one earlier to set up a score. Baines will put it off to the side. It'll hop around the 20. It will be picked up there by DeQuise Brown, and he gets ripped to the ground by Saylor. And another flag and more jarring. And at some point, as coaches, you've got to say, come on, man.
Yeah. Now that's who it starts being a reflection on after a while. You know, you don't want that. I know.
And we've seen it on both. And we've seen it on both sides.
Right.
Tonight. We're not singling anybody out.
Surely don't. I mean, obviously they don't want that, and they do. You know, they want their guys to clean it up. You know, they still got a lot of football to play. Let's clean it up.
It's going to be on Scott County, and like we said, now Great Crossing, you add 15 yards onto that. They're going to start from their own 45, and maybe you take a couple of shots, especially when you got a guy like Caleb Perry.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've already seen that. You know,
it's actually past midfield.
Yeah.
It might have been a penalty on top of a penalty there because I thought Brown was taken down at his own 30, but they've marked off a good 20 yards from that. So Great Crossing starts in Scott County territory with 1:02 to play with.
With a lot of help from Scott County.
Quick out to Fain. He gets a little bit of it. He gets 3-4 yards down to the 45. He was kind of juking his legs, looking for room and seeing what might develop, but he couldn't find any daylight.
That is called a you go make a play right there. When you just hit him out in the flats.
Yeah, that's the Julian Edelman rule.
Right, and Casey Fain can do it.
Scored a touchdown last week at Woodford County. Broughton rolls to his left. Well-thrown ball, juggled and falls incomplete as Coulter had to turn around, so it was a tough catch.
Well, you know what, and to have him roll out to his left,
throwing
being right-handed, that's tough.
That's not natural.
No, that's really, really
Joe
hard
Montana
to do.
used to do it, but there's not too many people that can.
Joe Burrow threw one last night, that touchdown.
Is he going to be good when he gets some linemen?
And he was going to his left and just throws a dime.
When he has something other than turnstiles for tackles.
Right.
3rd and 6, Broughton throws, dropped again.
No, that was there.
That was right on the hands.
Good ball.
Perry was there, but again, Perry didn't play wide receiver last year, so it's a different role for him. Certainly being recruited as an athlete, whether it's offense or defense, and he's still got a lot of time for colleges to figure out what they're going to do with him. I mean, his body type is certainly what they're interested in the most.
Here comes one of Scott County's best weapons.
And his football mentality. Yep, you didn't want to have to punt if you were Great Crossing. They get it off. It takes a fairly generous bounce for the Warhawks inside the 20, down past the Cardinal logo to the 19. Probably Scott County will kneel on it, but you never know. 13 seconds remaining. There's a flag down. Of course there is.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see those stats. The first quarter alone, we had 5, and I know we've had probably double that in the second. And a lot of them have been 10s and 15s. Holds and personal fouls. So Scott County will have 13 seconds to do something after the officials figure out where the ball is going to be spotted, and communicates that to both benches.
Gosh, I just wants to get out of this half, you know. Littered with penalties.
It's been penalty filled. It's been filled with big plays as well.
Right. When they've played, it's been pretty good.
Yeah. You know, and that's what you're going to get. I think you'll get the same thing next week when Douglas comes to town, and You'll get the same thing from most district games.
Well, we sat right here last Friday night, had no idea that they were getting beat, that they did get beat. I mean, I didn't get a report on it.
No, that was a headline game for sure against North Hardin, one of the best teams in 6A, with just as many D1. Right. They've marked off a first down for Great Crossing after that punt, so Perry gets a play out of the Wildcat. The communication there from the officials was minimal. There's no mics or anything this year, but in that exchange, Great Crossing got a freebie, and they'll have 7 more seconds, so maybe they can throw a Hail Mary or something. Certainly a sloppy end to the first half.
That's what that run there was set up for. They're going to be able to, I guess, get
we've seen Broughton's arm already once tonight.
I'm quite sure Perry can throw it to the end zone.
I think both of them can. You've got some got a couple of viable options there. Of course, you'd like to have him maybe at the other end being 6'4", maybe go up and get it.
Which I'm sure it's what Coach Monty's talking about now.
Knock it down.
Yep.
Tom Jackson.
Try to be a hero.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 34 of Scott County. So maybe if you run a quick play to the sideline, you'd have time for 2 plays, but a lot would have to happen there. And I think that's the discussion for Great Crossing. You try to get this in 1 chunk or 2.
Can they throw a quick out?
Perry's over there on the right side. Kind of soft coverage.
He'll probably about a 3 or 4 step and turn and try to get out of bounds, or he'll do an out.
Broughton will do just that. And there's Perry steps out of bounds at the 30, so they gave themselves a little bit more, a little bit closer.
And this is something you don't make up here. This is worked on in practice. This is
absolutely
called game situations. And hey, guys, we need to throw to the end zone, but we need to get a little bit closer. We got to get the ball out of bounds.
You know, you talk about a 2-minute drill. This has really been a 1-minute drill.
Right. 7-second drill.
It was gift wrap for them as they had to punt it away, but got the ball back after, gosh, I don't know what number penalty it was of this first half. We'll find out from the stats.
Shotgun. See if they give him enough time to throw. That's the
Broughton sets his feet and goes. He's got a couple of men down there. Who comes down with it? Incomplete, the officials say. And that will end the first half.
Put that right on the money.
Great Crossing with a threat to end the first half, but they can't cash in. And Scott County goes into the halftime conversation with a 35-12 lead over Great Crossing here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. In the Battle of the Birds, brought to you by Georgetown Community Hospital. Many others. Georgetown Community Hospital, our title underwriter tonight. Everyone at Georgetown Community Hospital knows that now, more than ever, you're busy taking care of others. So remember to take care of you. October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Do not delay your mammogram, and don't delay any other medical tests that you may need at this time. Georgetown Community Hospital is there for you. They offer 3D mammography for improved imaging and accurate screening, and they've taken extra steps to ensure the safest of care in these challenging times. Learn more at georgetownCommunityHospital.com. Derek, what'd you think of that first half? A lot to digest there in terms of big plays, penalties.
That's the key. Is the whole penalty thing, where it is going to be a little chippy just for the mere fact of what game it is. But I thought, I thought Scott County did basically what they wanted on offense. Great Crossing surprised me. I like all their packages that they have on offense. They can hit you, number of ways. They got some good weapons. Scott County just, is still stronger on both sides of the ball, but, Great Crossing getting 2 touchdowns. Hopefully they're able to score a couple more in the second half and keep it somewhat respectable, because I know Scott County's not going to stop scoring.
Yeah, they're not going to. And right now, not really close to a running clock or anything like that. And you got to look at that as we've got the stats from Mr. McLean delivering 117 yards for Montego Jones. I would have guessed he was over the century mark. Jeremy Hamilton, 64. Campton Martin, 55 with the 3 scores. Saylor, 34. The Cardinals have rolled up 272 yards on the ground on 36 carries. That's about 8 yards a pop. 107 yards through the air for Great Crossing, 48 on the ground. So for a total of 155, 324 total yards for Scott County. Scott County, 10 penalties for 102 yards. Great Crossing, 4 for 33. The big kick return for Great Crossing also was a factor in that half. Caleb Perry, 4 rushes for 26. Caspin Colbert, 6 for 14. Broughton, 8 for 15 for 107 with that 67-yard strike to Jacob Coulter for the touchdown. Perry has caught 4 balls for 26 yards as well. So matching numbers for him on the ground and through the air defensively. Wilhite with 4 tackles, Young with 5. Perry has been in on 13 stops, 5 solo and 8 assists.
Yeah, he's everywhere. He really is.
He is a man among boys, and
he
is willing Great Crossing to stay in this game, and they've done it. You know, they were a puncher's chance there from getting within 2 scores at the half. The ball fell incomplete. So here at halftime, once again, your score is 35-12, Scott County over Great Crossing.
Thank you for everybody that's listening in tonight.
Gosh, just thank you for listening, watching, wherever you are. We appreciate you participating in this much different Battle of the Birds this year. Different vibe, different atmosphere. Great atmosphere here nonetheless. We just wish there were more of you joining us, but we're thankful that you were able to be with us here over the airwaves or the World Wide Web or whatever it is that you're doing tonight to participate. Shout out to all of you at Harmony Christian Church. Oh, it's a beautiful night. Beautiful night to go to a drive-in and watch a football game, right? And that's essentially what that experience is going to be and is at this moment. I want to talk about next week. Great Crossing will be on the road at Paul Lawrence Dunbar. We'll have Scott County again. Scott County's first 4 games of the season are right here at Bird's Nest Stadium, and then they go on a month-long road trip. So it's an odd schedule. We're going to have basically Scott County for the first half of the year and Great Crossing for the second, as SC will host none other than Frederick Douglass, the second-ranked team in Class 5A behind reigning state champion Covington Catholic. Of course, you mentioned the loss. Frederick Douglass lost to one of the favorites in 6A, North Hardin, last week on a last-second field goal, 19-17, down at the farm. Douglass will come in here pretty angry, I would say. And, of course, they beat Scott County twice last year. They've played in the regular season and the playoffs. All 3 years of Douglass' existence have those 2 schools. Scott County's won 3. Douglass has won 3. The scales seem to be tilted a little toward Douglass, a lot toward Douglass with the athletes right now, but Scott County does what it does and does it very well.
Well, I like the home field advantage, even though, you can't have the crowd that would be here for a Scott County Douglass game on the Scott County side.
It's the first home game against Douglass since 2017. It's been a long time. They've had to play 4 in a row over there. So
right.
Just
well,
the way
you know what?
it shook out.
When those 2 play each other, all bets off. It doesn't make any difference what each team has done prior to that game. It's just a knockdown drag out. It's a great football, which has turned into one of the biggest rivalries in the state's what it's done.
We're going to treat you here to a joint performance by the band. Don't know how much of it you'll be able to hear, but Great Crossing and Scott County's bands will be performing together. The dance and cheer have done that as well tonight. So show of unity once again from the 2 schools.
I love this.
One proud community that we're part of here.
Exactly right. Proud to be in this community.
We're going to step away for just a couple of minutes, let you watch and enjoy the band, and we'll be back with you probably around the 5-minute mark to talk about the second half. Once again, your score here on the Bird's Nest Broadcast Network, Scott County 35, Great Crossing 12 at the half. Welcome back, everybody, to Bird's Nest Stadium, where the joint band they played some Journey. Now they're playing some 2020 music for us, The Weekend, little Blinding Lights. The lights have not been blinding since the sun went down here, but there's been a dizzying amount of scoring in this game. Great Crossing did its share, but Scott County, as it kind of did last year, setting the tone and efficiently on offense, punching it in 5 times with her 35-12 lead.
Well, and an abundance of flags on the field.
Yes, a lot of laundry being
absolutely
strewn about.
Winning that department there with over 100 yards of penalties in the first half.
You can't do that. 10 for 102, Great Crossing 4 for 33, but most of it was on the Scott County side of things. The SC side of the ledger.
I'm sure they may have heard a little bit of something about that during their halftime talking to.
Yes, just maybe.
Just all, you know what? Just what's done is done. Concentrate. Don't be the one who retaliates to a push or words. And I think that's what the majority have been, the personal fouls. And
it's been a couple, and holds. They were all biggies. They were all 10s and 15s.
Yes.
The holds didn't hurt as much as they would have under normal circumstances because they were already so far downfield that they ended up being, net losses of 4 or 5 yards, and Scott County's been able to atone for most of those. Scoring summary at 8:40 to go in the first quarter on its opening drive. Scott County scored on a 15-yard run by Campton Martin. You can put that on repeat. We'll be saying that again. Jacob Baines kicked the first of his 5 extra points for a 7-0 lead. The drive was 9 plays, 71 yards, took 3:20. Next Scott County drive, they went up 14-zip as your favorite play, the play-action pass from Zane Patton to Cam Lay, 12 yards. Baines again the kick. That drive of 7 plays and 64 yards took 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and the Cards led 14-0. Martin punched it in again from 3 yards out with 1:10 remaining in the first quarter to make it a 21-0 SC advantage. Baines with the kick. That was a short drive. Very short drive. What happened there? Was that a turnover? They got the ball pretty deep in Great Crossing territory. But yes, it was. That's right. Martin blocked the punt and then scored. Thank you. It was, and they've been threatening for a game and a half to get there, and they finally did. Great Crossing, not to be, they were undaunted. They came back in the second quarter with a couple of scores. The first one was a nice drive set up by the long kick return from Bird, and that led to a Colbert 2-yard run. That made it 21-6 with 9:21 remaining in the second quarter. The PAT was a pass, no good, as they lost their place kicker for a couple of games, so they're having to go for 2 every time. Martin's third score of the night covered 8 yards to cap an 11-play, 72-yard drive. Baines' kick made it 28-6 with 5:41 remaining in the half. Right back came the Warhawks on a 67-yard bomb, a beautiful strike from Jake Broughton to Jacob Coulter.
Beautiful. Man
coverage, and he found his man in stride. It took only 1 minute and 2 seconds, 4 plays, 73 yards, most of it on that throw to make it 28-12. The PAT, again, no good. And most recently, with 1:07 left in the half, Montego Jones got last week's game-winning score. He picked up his first touchdown of the night here, a 7-yarder to close out a 10-play, 56-yard drive that seemed a lot longer than that with all the penalties. But Scott County made it work.
Well, Montego's having a big night. He's already over 100 at halftime. After 2 quarters, he's over 100. And although he's got just the one touch, I say just the one, but they're getting in the red zone due to him just blowing up the middle.
Yeah, that's a play. Even when they've gotten in negative down and distance situations, they've been able to just hand him the ball and have him run up the middle for 10 or 15 and get it back anyway. So that's been reliable for them. Martin, obviously, on the edge. Hamilton's quietly had close to 70 yards himself in the first half. So it has been a team effort, as you might expect. And it's a little bit more like we would expect from Scott County. They struggled last week to get anything going on the outside.
Well, you got to thank the credit to offensive line.
Short kick by Baines. It's caught and smothered right about there as Saylor got there immediately.
The object of that is to pin them in on that sideline and use the sideline as an extra defender, and they do a fantastic job of that.
Worst case scenario is usually what happens there with the quick stop, as Kelly taken down by Young and Saylor. The best thing that can happen is sometimes they mishandle it if you're the kicking team, and you get a chance to recover a fumble. We've seen them do that against many opponents over the years. But Great Crossing will take over 1st and 10. Their own 30, Jake Broughton, the senior, 8 for 15 in the first half. He will hand to Colbert, who doesn't get much. He didn't get much in the first half, except on his touchdown. Broughton ended up with the ball somehow, but I think it bounced back to. I think it came out. I think they'd already blown it dead. Net gain of 1 yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Spencer Wood in the center of that stack for the Cardinals. who lead 35-12. Their defense hasn't been as stingy as last week, but I think they're playing a better offensive opponent than they were last week, frankly. A team that can do more things. That one's thrown wildly closer to a couple of Cardinals than it was to Perry.
Just about picked right there, and played well on the corner out there, very well.
A.J. Young was around it. Hamilton was around it. I think I see Luke Colvin out there, who didn't play last week because he was resting an injury, but he's back out there tonight, and he was on the scene as well. So it's 3rd and long for the Warhawks. They're at their own 31 to start the second half.
Go screen here, or maybe nope, just straight drop.
Straight drop for Broughton. He finds his man. Coulter juggles it right at the stick. He's taken out of bounds by Martin. Depends on where they spot it.
I think they'll give it to him.
Oh, this guy's standing shy of the 40. Now he moves up.
Yep, there he is.
And that official, if they gave him that progress, it's a first down. And we'll see if there's a measure. Yep.
They're going to measure
move it. Nope. White hat saying move it. So first down, fresh set of downs for the Warhawks.
Nice play call right there.
That's what you need if you're Great Crossing to get in an offensive rhythm. Yes, exactly. Receiver ran a smart route, and Broughton made a pinpoint throw. He's made some good ones tonight. First man through is Colbert again. Nothing doing as the Cardinals shut that down after a gain of maybe a yard. Kevin Herbert was there. Colvin again in on the stop with him.
Big Kevin Herbert.
He is a load, number 99.
He is.
Run stuffer. Cooler night for Kevin, which is good. He was cramping up a lot last week against Station toward the end.
Had several of those.
Yes, Martin, Hamilton.
Second man through.
Oh, look at this.
Nice
all
run.
The way to the end zone, perhaps, unless Martin can cut him off. We've seen him do that before, and he does it again. He catches him from behind at the 6, but what a run by Jacob Coulter. And you talk about offensive weapons. We've talked so much about Caleb Perry, and rightfully so, with his 90-something yards of all-purpose.
I mean, Great Crossing comes out and just punches Scott County right in the mouth right there. That was, I haven't seen that. Oh, that was a counter, like a second man through right there, and he ran through a huge hole.
So many different things you can do out of the triple option.
Yes.
Coulter had a 67-yard reception earlier in the game. Now he has a 52-yard run to make it 1st and goal, and the Warhawks are threatening to try to get within 2 scores.
They like throwing this slant down here.
Broughton straight drop, and he's got a man. He underthrew it a little bit. Juggling, they say incomplete.
Got to really be careful throwing it. You got to make sure that one is incomplete, or you can't leave that pass right there behind because of obviously the corner out here.
I think I screwed up a number again. I said Coulter. I actually think that was Peyton Harris on the run. The 10 and the 18 look an awful lot alike when they're scatting up and down the field. But I saw that guy run off, and now Coulter's over here trying to catch that ball. So I apologize to Peyton. Nice play there to get Great Crossing into position, and an easy score on the option for the quarterback. It looked like Colbert. Everybody keyed on Colbert, and Broughton had daylight and then some. And the Warhawks are within, well, they're sort of within 2 scores. The 2-point conversion thing has put them kind of behind the 8 ball. They've got to cash that in here to get within 15. They will again go for 2 with 9:27 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Broughton throws a little timing pattern to the back of the end zone. It's juggled and falls incomplete. So that will keep it at a 3-possession game. That's kind of big.
I still like Coach Boland. I just like his plays. I like his plays for his 2-point conversion. Now, they haven't connected on any, but they're just, I like the packages where he spreads everybody out.
And you know what I like about this rivalry as it begins to heat up through the years is 2 very distinctly different styles.
Oh, completely.
With the triple option. There's some similarities with the way you can grind it out, but boy, there's different ways of getting there. And I think Scott County on the sideline right now, a little bit stunned by the way they've been punched back by Great Crossing. Not once, not twice, but now 3 times.
Well, you'll see good teams know how to react to this right here after giving up a first possession of the second half touchdown. Now you get the ball back, and you need, Scott County just needs to drive it right back down on Great Crossing.
So the Peyton Harris run sets up the keeper by Jake Broughton of 7 yards with 9:27 to play in the third quarter. It's Scott County 35, Great Crossing 18 here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. I was going to have you get a couple sponsors in, but we'll wait till the next break, I guess.
Brandon Smith. Backer Scott County number 5 is Caden Martin. And 25 is Jeremy Hamilton.
On the ground.
A little squibber. Still running, squirming. I think
flag.
Andrew Wilhite, the first man through.
With the tackle, there's a flag on the field.
Boy, Andrew's he's not scared to receive that thing. He'll take off with it.
Yeah, he does not shy away from contact whatsoever.
His nose right in there.
He likes being hit. And another personal foul against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So the beat goes on.
You know, what's going to happen is you'll see guys start going to the bench. Coach McKee's just will, you know, at what point do you know he can't tolerate it. Guys are just losing their cool.
Yeah, you got to keep your composure. It's a rivalry game, and you know you're letting Great Crossing hang around. You're going to only help them with that stuff. That's the 11th penalty. So first down for the Cardinals, now backed up to their 25. First man through is Tago Jones. He will push it out past the 28.
Steady diet coming. Steady diet of whole lot of Tago.
Yeah. Tago Friday, like Taco Tuesday.
Yeah,
right?
Tago Friday. Here it comes.
It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals. Give Jones a gain of 4. Little pitch this way coming at us. Spinning free for a moment is Saylor, but he gets taken down again as the Warhawks. Caden Allen has been on that little toss play all night. He's snuffed it out most of the time.
He has, but he's coming from the middle of the field, and
he's doing a lot of work to get there.
He is, because Jackson Saylor is really hitting that corner. I mean, and it's great play calling. What they're doing is they're seeing where the ends and the corners are lined up here, and they're taking advantage of that.
Another handoff to Jones. Daylight past the 50. Taken down by Perry, but not before another Scott County first down on a gain of 15. Tago's going to be up around 2 bills before this one's over.
Oh, yeah. I said, and he's going to break a couple this half, too.
It's just what you want out of your fullback if you're Jim McKee. It's the recipe that's been followed for well into its 3rd decade now. Ball spotted right at the 50. Jones again, similar results as he's past the 40. Perry again throws him down, but it's a gain of 15. And the Cards are on the move once more.
It's coming. Tago will be in pay dirt before you know it.
Perry had 13 tackles if you count his solos and his assists in the first half, and he's already got a half dozen since the break, I think.
And then, you know what? Congratulations to Mr. Perry, but you do not want that to happen.
No, you don't need that much action out of one guy.
No, he's on the second phase of the defense.
Jones up the middle. That time there was nothing there. A helmet pops off as Caleb Wittry will have to trot off as he lost the helmet. Mandatory, you got to sit out of play if that happens. There's a lot of beef in the middle there for Great Crossing.
A lot of earth.
Trey Combs is an earth mover for sure.
A lot of earth movers there.
He's a junior.
We haven't. When's the last time we saw Mr. Lay?
You have called that pretty consistently. I think he's lined up on the left side right now. It's going to be a keeper for Patton this way. He breaks free for a moment, but he gets tossed down very authoritatively by number 28, Sladen Earhart.
That is 2 plays right there with little to nothing for Scott County after big gains from Tago.
They don't usually get a lot out of that quarterback keeper. It's something they often use in 4th and short or 3rd and short. We saw it last week in a atypical situation, and here again. But it's 3rd and 7. Ball spotted at the great crossing 32, ticking down to 6:40 remaining in the third quarter. Oh, man in the neutral zone is trying to anticipate the snap count was Caden Allen, and he stepped over. That'll make it easier for the Cards. It's 3rd and 2. Moves up to the 27.
Got to play for 3rd and 2.
I think they've got one, number 2.
Number 2
on
third and
3rd and 2.
Absolutely.
And he usually gets more than 2.
Uh-huh.
He's averaging double digits, 2. Cardinals have been efficient in the final analysis on offense tonight. It's been a circuitous route sometimes as Jones does punch it for a first down up to the 21. Combs, Allen, and others on the stop.
Caden Allen's name.
He's been called a lot too lately.
He and Caleb Perry have made a couple stops.
Just a few. Time of possession favoring the Cards as it often does. There's the counter to Martin. He makes a man miss. Now he cuts it back toward the middle, spins around, first down, first and goal for the Cardinals. Woo. Campton Martin makes things happen no matter what he's doing on the field.
And if you watch closely on that one, Cal, how did they not get caught in the back? There's so many fakes going on. There was a guy reaching for him as he was getting the ball and just didn't get him.
The problem is you're going to play a team like Frederick Douglass, and they've got the speed, just like Bryan Station did, to make you pay for that.
Yes.
But first things first, Scott County trying to punch another one in and put this away. It's 35-18 with 5:30 remaining in the third quarter. There's Hamilton down inside the 5.
Maybe should have cut
hard
right
contact.
There.
He didn't cut it inside.
No,
he kept trying to go toward the corner, and
great tackle.
Perry was there along with number 22 again, Allen. The two guys who've led the team in tackles by far tonight.
They are magnets to the football. They definitely are. They get
drawn
there.
to it.
Yeah,
second and goal. At the 3. I bet it's Jones. It is. It's touchdown. 4:54 remaining in the third quarter. Scott County puts it up over the 40 mark. They're going to try to put some ketchup and mustard on the 40 burger with another extra point from Jacob Bange. And that will push the lead, assuming he makes it to 24. So 3 scores and 3 two-point conversions. Pretty big gap at this point.
Yeah, but you know what? I like the way Great Crossings.
They just punch you back. You punch them in the mouth, and they have a counter punch. It seems like high snap, but Bange gets it through the uprights.
Wow, Andrew Wilhite, that was all.
Wilhite did a good job to get that down.
Absolutely, very athletic play right there.
Here come the lights.
You have to always, as a holder, you have to expect a bad snap. You can't be caught off guard by a bad snap.
Tell them about our sponsors, Don Pardo.
We got a couple tonight. First of all, thank you to all sponsors. Thank you to Bluegrass Orthopedics, serving athletes of all ages. Georgetown News Graphic, home of Kal Oakes. Denise Keene, certified public accountant for your tax and auditing needs. Brickhouse Properties Real Estate, buying and selling made easy. Chick-fil-A, home of the original chicken sandwich. TMMK, as I'm not going to say the mouthful.
Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Kentucky.
Thank you for that mainstay of Georgetown.
You got to do it slowly.
Right, TMMK.
I tried to do a voiceover in the office, and I screwed it up again the other day.
Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Clark's Pump and Shop with 3, soon to be 4 Georgetown locations. Georgetown Community Hospital, where your health and safety remain our #1 priority. And thank you so much for tonight, your sponsorship of tonight's Battle of the Birds. West Banco, by all accounts, better.
Short kick again, quickly covered by the Cardinals as the short return man had plenty of company at a moment's notice. Number 14, DeQuise Brown. The sophomore, we say that word a lot with this team, sophomore, junior, that kind of thing. It's a team with a lot to grow on.
Cal, watch this offense as they get more and more comfortable with this triple option. I mean, they got some weapons. They have some weapons. They're just outmanned. They're outmanned up front.
Yeah, there's still an advantage. They have to do some creative things to move the ball. They can't just run it at Scott County. They do try that here. No, it's a fake. It's a flip on the outside and a little bit of daylight again.
Nice.
as Broughton made the pitch. Peyton Harris again.
Old Nebraska. Old Nebraska
Yeah,
option
the
where
old,
they ran 40 yards downfield and pitch it.
Jeff Smith or Mike Rozier.
Mike Rozier to
Roger Craig. All those guys. Tom Rathman played fullback there.
You stay a yard or two behind your quarterback and be ready for the pitch.
There's a lot of room up the middle. We said they haven't been able to go up the middle, but Caspin Colbert found plenty of daylight. He could have driven a truck through that up to midfield.
Matter of fact, I thought he was the fake man. He was so wide open.
He was tripped up at the 48 of the Warhawks. So great crossing on the move again. I'm impressed with their stick-to-itiveness, and they're not afraid. Last year, they were overwhelmed, and what Coach McKee said in the paper the other day is coming true. They're not going to be as overwhelmed. They're not going to be as captivated by the moment. The name on the front of the other jersey is not going to bother them as much. Scott County's not in their head as much tonight, and they're standing toe-to-toe with them. I mean, the early 21-0 lead ultimately was too much to overcome, I think.
It is, and still on the other side of the ball, Great Crossing just not getting any stops. You know, Scott County's doing whatever they want on offense, and scoring has just so happened that Great Crossing got behind too early. Now, if they were behind, you know, if they would have matched them point for point there at the beginning, it'd be a whole lot different ball game right now.
Just those 3 touchdowns off the bat in the first quarter, and
one from a block punt.
Took GC a while to find their rhythm offensively, but once Broughton started mixing and matching with his cadre of receivers, he's got Perry, Coulter, he's got some weapons, of course, as you mentioned, Peyton Harris running that little Nebraska play there. But the one up the middle was the big one, the 52-yard pop that set up the last touchdown. Coulter split out to the left. On the right is Kelly. And Colbert lined up behind Broughton with the 2 wings. Broughton will roll to his right. He's going to keep it. He's not going to get much, but a little second effort and another flag.
And they're going to get him maybe a late hit.
I think they popped him out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to get a late hit.
And here's the thing. I don't know how far out of bounds he was, but
I can't tell.
It's like when you have a driving record. You're not going to get a warning. You're going to get a ticket. And that's kind of what this is, I think. You know, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt at this point with double-digit penalties.
And what it does, it puts the referees have
they're on notice.
Right, they got a heightened awareness right now that hey, we're not going to let this thing get out of hand. So any little thing, they're going to throw a flag.
And it's a 15-yarder. It'll give Great Crossing another free first down up at the Scott County 32. 4:03 remaining in the third quarter. It's still doable at 24 points. Great Crossing would have to get some stops that they haven't been able to get all night. But their offense going toe-to-toe with the Cardinals right now. Second man through again is Harris. That play worked for 52 last time.
That was the biggie last time.
It worked for 2 or 3 this time.
Yep.
Once Scott County saw it, it was a little tougher to find footing. And once I saw it, I was able to snuff it out a little bit better myself.
Sure.
They're inside the 30 now are the Warhawks. Broughton rolls to his left. He's got the option out here, but he'll tuck it into his arm and keep it.
Look, you can see that his option man out here is wide open.
He had a lot of room.
Right there is where he needed to pitch it before the point of contact because the corners and safeties were already drawn over to him.
He saw Tackett coming with Broughton, and he decided to tuck it in and cut his losses. It was a gain down to the 23. Be third and a long one. Harris, they give it to the first man through Colbert as Harris went in motion and looked like he might have been in a position to take the ball, but they went with the fullback who forged ahead for what looks like a first down. I think the chain gang moved a little prematurely, but he did get 2. He needed 1.5. And Warhawks are in business down at the Cardinal 21 with 2:45 remaining in the third quarter.
See him punch another one in right here.
Jake Broughton guiding this Warhawk team under center, hands it off to Colbert. Colbert's got some space, and he is dragging 2 or 3 Cardinals down inside the 15.
There's no quit in the Hawks.
There is not. This is a team that is a program that is acquitting itself well tonight. And what you got to like if you're Coach Bowling, he wanted to eliminate the turnovers, and they've done that.
Yep.
And they've given themselves
the
a puncher's chance because of
absolutely.
it.
And the way these kids are playing is a tribute to him.
They're going to win some games this year, I'm telling you.
There's
Broughton again on the keep. He had a chance to pitch again. He had Fain out there, but he decided to keep it himself. He's calling his own number a little bit more this half.
Yep.
Takes it down just shy of the 10. They're doing what Scott County usually does and putting themselves in good down and distance positions. And another first down as he got it right to the marker. Great crossing at the 11, under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. So they're chewing up time. And time is Scott County's friend right now. Plus the fact that they're going to get the ball back at some point, and they've been pretty efficient. First man through again is Colbert. Ball was on the ground, but I think they had whistled it dead, and they're saying down by contact at the 8.
Scott County's defense has spent a lot of time on the field.
They have lately.
Yep.
In this third quarter, they've spent most of it there, I would say. It was a quick scoring drive. Second down, call it 7. The Warhawks can get a first down without getting a touchdown, but they would have to punch it down inside almost to the 1 to do that.
See if he tries to get an edge here.
Coulter split out left. Harris in motion. The give is to Colbert, I think. No, it's a keep again. It was Broughton, yep. Colbert was all alone over here.
Yep. He followed in behind the dive back.
Tell you what, I covered a triple option team up north, and the officials, I saw that team a couple of times get burned by inadvertent whistles where their guy was on his way to the end zone and the play had been blown dead by a ref who didn't know who had the ball. So I don't feel too badly sitting up here in the tower sometimes and not knowing who's got it.
It's tough.
It is an offense where there's a lot of movement.
A lot of movement in the backfield.
And
exactly
a lot of things the quarterback can do. And if it's done right, it's delicious to watch. Broughton pitches it. Oh, a big stick. Shy of the marker. Peyton Harris again on the carry. I thought that was Tackett. Tackett hits like a truck. If you get hit by Tackett or Hamilton, you're going to be sore tomorrow. Clock stops with exactly a second to play, and it's an interesting situation. It's fourth down and about, I want to say, 1.5 yards. Great Crossing's not going to waste any time. They don't have a kicker tonight anyway, so they're going to go for it. They're going to run the final second off, I guess. Why did the clock stop then? At any rate, your score after 3 quarters, the Cardinals 42, the Warhawks 18 on the Georgetown Community Hospital Battle of the Birds, second edition. Want to thank James Scoggin, our producer, and Derek Varney here. I'm Kal Oakes. Derek's going to read you some more of our sponsors, and we want to thank all of you fans for joining us tonight for this special event here on NFHS Network and newsgraphic.com. Derek, take it away.
Thanks to all of our sponsors. West Banco, by all accounts, better. Greens Toyota of Lexington, great people, great cars. Think Greens. Oster Paint and Flooring, your hometown paint and flooring connection. Scott County Veterinarian Clinic. We love and treat your pets like our own. Come join us at Scott County Veterinarian Clinic Family. People's Bank, working together, building success. Come see us at 101 Canewood Center Drive. Time to Shine Car Wash. Your car will shine at Time to Shine Car Wash. 8 Lexington area locations to serve you. Steve Skierman, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to meet all your insurance needs. Burger King, home of the Whopper, 2 Georgetown locations. And Domino's Pizza. Come check out our new Georgetown location on the corner of Champion Way and US 25. Again, thank you to all sponsors, and especially tonight, Georgetown Community Hospital.
Great Crossings up to 279 yards of total offense after that third quarter. Scott County at 394, so you combine it, we're close to 700 yards of offense in this game. Tago Jones, 20 carries for 161 yards and 2 scores. Peyton Harris with that 52-yard run is now Great Crossings leading rusher with 5 for 60. Broughton with 115 through the air. Patton is a perfect 4 for 4 passing for Scott County. 3 of those were to the sophomore Paul Garner.
I haven't seen Paul much lately.
No.
Did
he get a penalty there in the first half? Or it was sometimes if you're a sophomore, there's less forgiveness for you.
Yes, there is. What did he get? Did he get a hold?
Yeah, he might have had a hold on the Campton,
on
the Campton touchdown run that wasn't. 4th down for the Warhawks. Broughton will keep it. Will he get the forward progress? 2 guys all over him, one of whom was A.J. Young, and the other number 76, Isaac Krebs. Was it Perry? Did they line up Perry?
I would have.
I think they did. Bill Holland said Perry. I got kind of caught up looking at stats, and all of a sudden they were running the play. I don't think they're going to measure. I don't think he made it. They're at the 2. He had to get inside the 2. I don't think it's particularly close. That's a goal line stand for the Cards, and it's a big one with 11:52 to go.
Huge disappointment for Great Crossing right there. You know what? Great drive. I think they're getting a lot out of this game to carry with them into the coming weeks. They got a heck of an offense. I mean, and they got a heck of an offense against a heck of a defense in Scott County.
1st and 10 from their own 2. I would say Jones is a safe bet here.
That are going to be a long count.
He was trying to draw him off sides to get some extra daylight. It is Jones bouncing out to the left to get pushed out of bounds after a gain of 5.
A little breathing room. Caden Allen on the tackles. That's just a recording, isn't it?
That's what it's been, man.
Jeez, oh Pete.
There's a couple of gifted football players, guys that if I do an all-county team at the end of this year, I'm sure they'll be on it.
He gets after it.
2nd and 5 for the Cards. Clock stop at 11:45 to go. They lead by 24. It's a pitch to the other side. It's Jackson Saylor, and he's not going to find much room there. Knocked down initially by number 24, Jarve Ray.
That quick pitch is, that's kind of a do or die play. If they read that well, your pitch man's just in no man's land out there by himself.
Saylor got about 1.5 yards. They'll spot it just shy of the 9, so it's 3rd and 3. First down will be helpful to the Cards. They don't really want to punt from their own end zone.
No, I don't.
The only thing worse than that is another team having to punt against Scott County from their own end zone. It's a pitch.
Good block. He missed the block out here.
Yep. Now we're going to have another hold. Hamilton had the ball coming this way toward his own bench, toward the cheerleaders. It's going to back Scott County up.
Jeremy's had
half
some
the
leg
distance.
issues now. I think he's cramping.
He's pulling up lame a little bit.
He's done it a couple times.
It's a cooler night, but if you don't drink enough liquids before the game, that doesn't matter.
It does not.
It's at least the 12th penalty on Scott County. Let's see. That's the 13th. It's a baker's dozen now. It'll be spotted at the 6.
Got an inadvertent train whistle.
Yeah.
There's another penalty.
You're just testing it to see if it worked.
There's another
it's
penalty.
Unnecessary crowd noise on the offense. So 3rd and 6.
Do you try to throw one here?
Patton under center, Miracle the center. In motion is Hamilton. Second man, no, they will fake the counter, and they will go to your man Cameron Lay, who has the first down.
Good ball
up
right
at the
there.
23. Good call by Derek Varney, the offensive coordinator.
Thank you. Didn't process elimination, 3rd and 6.
There's only so many things you can do when you know they're kind of sniffing at things.
I'm a genius on that one, huh? 3rd and 6. Yeah, you might want to throw to get a first down.
Might work. I don't know. Jones has been pretty efficient, gaining 10 and 12 all night too. Cardinals have a fresh set of downs to work with, and they will throw it again. Patton going for the kill shot, but he just missed him, overthrown.
Goodness. That's a wheel route out of the backfield right there.
That would have been the
whoa
coup de grace.
I think you and I were the closest to the receiver.
Coup de grace.
Yep.
Yeah, we had the best chance to make the tackle.
Woo. That Jackson Saylor.
That was Jackson Saylor. He can flat out fly, but not quite that fast.
No, he can get after it. Oof.
Patton just need to put a little air under that.
Yep.
He kind of was haunted by that interception against Bryan Station last week where it was underthrown. So he heaved it out there. He showed us his arm strength there.
He had a nice arm on that.
That's his first incomplete pass of the night. Now Campton Martin will take it to the right end, past the first down marker. He gets taken down. That's definitely a horse collar or a late hit or both.
There's 15 there.
They're going to tack that on. It's going to push Scott County into Great Crossing territory. 10:02 to play, 42-18 your score. Scott County comfortably on top as they look to take the second battle of the birds. They won the first one last year by a much wider margin.
Coach McKee is getting on somebody.
It's going to be interesting to hear Coach McKee's take on this game. He's always happy with the win. He professed a lot of happiness with the win over Bryan Station last week, and I think first night a win's a win, but there were certainly a lot of moments you could say were teachable in that game, and I think a couple in this one being the penalties, especially when you're going from one rivalry week to the next. Straight up the middle, Montego Jones. He gets 10+ once again for about the 10th time tonight.
Yep.
He's up over 170 yards in the game.
Good for him. Scott County can.
He's going to end up
trying to. They can eat some clock if they want on this with the play clock, but that's just the way they're playing. I don't think they're have their mind set on that.
This pace, an 8-game season, Montego's still going to rush for about 1,200 yards. There was another quick pass. Is it Garner again? Yep, it's Garner with his 4th catch of the night. He's taken down by Perry. Garner, not afraid at all.
No.
He's definitely got the Garner personality.
Love seeing him in there. Proud of Paulie.
And another penalty being marked off against the Cardinals. Didn't see what it was for.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
It's a hold. Okay, it's a late hold. Been a lot of those tonight. It's a hold that you didn't need to make.
No, because you got the guard, you got the lineman coming out and pulling, waiting on Paul to make the catch, and that's who he follows behind.
And the play was essentially over at that point. Faked the reverse and went the other way to Hamilton, who's got room to spare. Makes a man miss. What a spin move by Jeremy. Down close to the 15. And that will move the chains with 9:14 to play. They'll mark it at the 16. Maybe the 16 and a half. That's a gain of 26 for Jeremy Hamilton.
Beautiful run.
He is definitely cramping up. No, yeah, the way they're moving back this way.
My goodness. You would think that. I'm like,
yep, there's a marker back here at the 33.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either. It looked like fallen leaves. Of course, there's no trees next to this field. So after that penalty gets marched off, it'll be 1st and 16. We've said that too many times tonight. It's an odd combination, but yet it's happened.
How many times Scott County come and get a first down, nice run after a penalty?
15 penalties. They're going to try to Luttrell this time. He makes one man miss. He gets dragged down by the second one on the scene, Mekhi Wilson. Wilson takes down Luttrell at the 37. Back to the original line of scrimmage. I don't even know what the original line of scrimmage is anymore. Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and 9. It's the thing with high school penalties, too. They're always from the spot. It's so much easier when it's just 10 straight or 5 straight
from the line of scrimmage
or 15 straight.
Right. Oh, there we go.
Counter right.
Beautiful block. Beautiful block.
Hamilton watching and waiting for another blocker to develop. He gets taken down from behind.
That's a great tackle.
And I think another first down will be right at the marker at the 27. Is that Perry again on the stop? Catching him from behind?
Perry or Caden?
Yeah, you flip a coin, you'd be right either way for sure. It is a first down Cardinals, 8:23 to play. Pretty safe to say Cardinals marching to their 2nd win of the season and the 2nd win in this series, but I think it's also safe to say the Warhawks have made a statement tonight of their own. That they're going to
I'm impressed with them.
They're going to be a threat against at least 2 of the teams in this district. You think of Montgomery County and Grant County, who there's a chance. There's a real chance, based on what I've seen tonight, these two teams could see each other again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that would be fun indeed, because by the end of the season, who knows, right?
Very fun.
Of course, a lot has to happen. Scott County, Frederick Douglass still got to come in here, and it's easier said than done to come in here and beat Scott County, no matter what the home field they're playing on, whether it's Bird's Nest Stadium, whether it's Toyota Stadium. Cards are going to be ready for that. They're going to have aces up their sleeve as we have a timeout here on the field.
Yep, absolutely.
8:05 to play.
What are we thinking with our players of the game right now?
Boy, it's tricky on the Scott County. And we gave it to Tago last week, but Campton with the 3 scores early. You like to split it up, and maybe you can give it to Caleb Perry as a defensive player of the game. I don't know. What do you think? It's tough for Scott County. It's such a swarm to the ball concept that there's no,
Well, you know what?
There's no great, eye-popping stats there.
No.
There's been no turnovers. They had the punt block, which isn't really defense,
Right.
it's special teams. So,
I mean, Zane Patton's what, 6 for 6, 5 for 5, 6 for 6
on offense, he's certainly
Right.
done well finding
has.
Cam Lay, but I think the 3 touchdowns and Tago's got the 2 scores too. So we might have to cut that. We might have to cut that plaque and cut the baby in half, sort of thing, like the Old Testament story.
Right. I'm good with Campton.
Yeah,
Certainly
I think Campton got himself a defensive award last week. That just was a broken play, I think.
I couldn't even tell.
I don't think Zane. I think he faked a handoff, and his second option was not there. He got taken down for a big loss, 6 yards. Warhawks knocked the Cardinals back to the 33. Jones, they're all over that with the Warhawks. Nothing doing there. That's going to be another loss.
Scott County's going back.
Center of that line, once again, Allen coming up from the linebacker position. I think I saw Caleb Witry in there. It's a loss of another yard, so 3rd and a bunch, 17.
I think I saw Garner just go in. Of course, Great Crossing has to be expecting some sort of pass, or maybe they're just going to eat some clock here and run a couple plays.
Fake and a throw, again overthrown as Patton had a man out there, but the Warhawks were closer to it, and it's going to be 4th and 17 with 6:50 to go. 4 down territory, I guess, unless you want a pooch punt.
Yeah.
I think I might do that
Why
with a 24-point lead. I don't know. McKee thinking about it. I think he felt like he punted enough times last week. Now there's some confusion.
Yeah.
Five or six punts by Campton Martin last week. That's probably the most I'd ever seen against an opponent not named Douglas or Moeller by Scott County.
And they were consecutive possessions.
It is going to be a pooch punt by Zane Patton, but again, too much on it's going to get into the end zone. It's going to be a net 14 yards, and they'll take over at the 20.
Coach,
if you're going to do that, you got to angle it, right?
You have to. That's what he's saying. He's pointing, saying, you know what, son, kick it towards the sideline. Worst thing they can do, it can, go out of bounds, and they get the ball right where it goes out of bounds. Now they get to bring it out of the end zone.
6:45 for the Warhawks to maybe get another touchdown for cosmetic purposes here and get some more good feelings going into next week. That's a winnable game for them at Dunbar, I think. I mean, I don't know what Dunbar has. They're a 6A Lexington school, but that's a team that they should be competitive with.
Very well coached by Wes Johnson. They got a fabulous coach there. I think the kids are happy. Kind of brought new energy back to their program.
They had a run of like 5 different coaches in 7 years or something like that. And Paul Raines had coached them for a year or two at one point.
Mike Meehan had a incredible coaching stint there at Dunbar.
But after then, in this past decade was the tank kind of ran dry, but they had a comeback season last year, so that will be no picnic for Great Crossing.
Right.
They'll have to go to Montgomery County in the district at some point. They'll host Grant County here. They'll host Douglas as well. That's a jump ball that's going to be picked off. Campton Martin with his 3rd interception in 2 weeks. It's as good as a punt, I guess, on first down, but Scott County will take over at the Great Crossing 49.
Yep.
So Martin has 3 touchdowns, a blocked punt, and an interception tonight. (42-18) was 6:07 to play. That will just about do it. Not that I think Scott County was in any danger. They're just going to run it up the middle with Montego Jones.
Get some reps here. This is where Coach McKee still likes to teach. He still wants perfection right here. And, you know, just it keeps the guys, it keeps them in the repetition of running this wing T offense.
Scott County would love to score again and get the last word in this one. It's been a contentious game at times, but Scott County's been in control of it since getting a 21-0 lead out of the gate. It's been pretty even since then. In fact, it has been even if you discount extra points. There's a toss to Hamilton, who will get out close. In fact, he will get the first down at the 37. But here's where you are if you're Great Crossing. You lost this game 72-7 a year ago. Running time the whole second half. There's not going to be running time tonight. You've answered every score since the first quarter with a score of your own. You've done it in very diverse, impressive fashion offensively. I think you got to be very happy if you coach Ricky Bowling. And if you're Jim McKee, hey, you're 2-0. You've got a district win. You're taking a step toward a home game in the playoffs. Montego will take it to the house for the 3rd time tonight.
Beautiful run. I knew he was going to bust one.
Tego from 37 yards out goes over 200 yards for the night. The train whistle goes off one more time, and with 5:18 to play, Scott County piles up its 7th touchdown of the evening. That might have sealed the offensive player of the game award for Tego. It's hard to back away from a guy that has 215 yards and 3 scores.
It's about what we went through. You like to distribute it to different players each game and like for someone to have a chance to do it. But, you know, sometimes when the obvious is the obvious.
Well, I mean, and in some ways they have. Hamilton's up near 100. Martin's up near 100. I mean, I'll have to see the final. They had 69 and 68 going into the 4th quarter. So
how many times did we do it this year to Taryn Hamilton after basketball games? We try to decide on something different.
Yeah, it's hard to give it to, you know, and like Scott County girls, you know, trying to give it to someone other than Morgan DeFore or Malaya Williams was a chore. Yeah. It's just that kind of thing. But Caleb Perry had 18 tackles coming into the 4th quarter. The effort that Great Crossing has put up, I'd like to give them something tonight. So he may be the front runner for the defensive award.
Oh, he'd have to be, absolutely. Needless to say, he's setting school records every time he goes out.
I'm telling you what, he had over 100 tackles last year. He might have 100 in the first 2 weeks this year. It's crazy. He'll have at least 35. Deep kick by Baines. He angled it nicely. It is muffled there and then picked up. Decent return by Bird. Gets it out to the 28. He had one for 50+ earlier.
Drake is a kick return extraordinaire. You don't see much anywhere else, but you see returning the kicks. Lots of guts.
Well, it's good when you're a 6A team. You have that luxury. Sometimes you can have a utility player who does just that one thing for you, whereas at a smaller school, he'd probably be playing.
And he's going to be back there, you know, 2 more years after this.
Yes, as will many of his classmates on this team that are already seeing major playing time. Jake Broughton, one of the few seniors who has done a ton tonight for the Warhawks. He'll hand it off to, I think, Harris, the second man throw. Nope, Harris is standing there. We got a new guy carrying the ball. It's Fain.
Casey Fain.
With the carry.
He rolled over, and I saw the 13 on his back. Lucky 13. Casey with a touchdown last week. Touchdowns tonight for great crossing from Colbert, Coulter, and Broughton himself, the quarterback.
Is that a law firm?
Sounds like it. Any three
Colbert.
names, any three long names you can put together usually sound like a law firm.
From the law firm of Colbert, Colton.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. They used to call him the law firm with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Then you go to Cincinnati and do absolutely nothing after that.
He did.
Broughton with the deep ball to Perry, who comes back and can't make the grab. He made one diving catch earlier tonight. This one would have been even more impressive and a much longer game, but he couldn't hang on to it. 3rd down and 7. From the 31, Warhawks. They are down by 31, so I may have spoken too quickly when I said there won't be running time, because if the Cards get the ball back, it's possible technically we could have that situation. But Warhawks with a chance to move the chains here and keep it rolling.
Jeez, oh, Pete, what's our hold up here, boys?
Yeah, we're getting down to the end of the game here. We don't need to stop the clock for artificial reasons.
They have to know everybody's hungry.
You'd think. Broughton a little bit high, but a nice go up and get it by number 18, Coulter.
That's Coulter, yeah. He went up and got the height of the ball. You don't wait for it to come down. You go up with both hands and don't let it get to your body. And he went up with 2 good hands right there and brought that one in.
Well, the problem is his knee came down at 37, so it's 4th and 1.
Yeah, you got to make sure you run, especially if it's a little comeback route like that. Make sure when you do come back, you're still past the flags.
If it had been thrown on the numbers, he might have been able to spin away and get that first down. But to complete the catch, he lost his balance. So they got to pick up a yard to extend the drive from their own 37. Broughton will call his own number up the middle. I think he's got it. He does. They give him the forward progress, and yeah, it looks like where they're spotting it. That's good for the Warhawks that they hopefully, in their case, won't have to give it back to the Cardinals. 3:24 to go. 49-18 your score here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network on NFHS Network, newsgraphic.com. I'm Kal Oakes with Derek Varney, James Scoggin doing yeoman work today to get us here. It was one of those days in the technical department, but he has
nice option,
beautiful
option, good blocks out here too.
Perry with room.
Oh no!
And he gets thrown down. Sorry, it's Shively. Perry was the 8 and the 9 look almost identical from a distance. Shively's a little shorter.
That option was worked to perfection right there.
He had all kinds of room.
He did, and the guys they stayed on their blocks, which is most important. You know, when your wide receivers and your slot guys are out here.
We do have a flag down, which I guess should surprise no one at this point. It's in a spot where you'd think it'd be against great crossing, but nobody's moving backwards. So
wake up in the middle of the night seeing.
Nope, personal foul on Scott County. That is, I believe, penalty number 16 on the night. Cards will have to correct that in the next 7 days as the ball gets marched up past the 35, and the Warhawks have a chance to get a score to grow on here.
I hope they don't do laps or push-ups for penalty yards.
I don't know.
They're going to be tired.
It's a rough one. First man through is, again, Caspin Colbert, who will take it up to the 31.
It's a good opportunity for great crossing, get some offensive reps in.
It's good for them to work on kind of controlling the clock in the fourth quarter. There's going to be a game later this year where they're going to play someone like Grant or Montgomery or whoever and be in the situation where if they punch this in, they win the game.
Right.
So here's a great chance to get ready for that.
Going to have Caleb Perry one-on-one coverage out here with
Hamilton.
Jeremy Hamilton.
The matchup of future D1 athletes. Again, it's Colbert.
Colbert again carries the football.
Ticking down to 2:15. Good Battle of the Birds brought to you by Georgetown Community Hospital. As advertised, it was a lot closer than last year.
It was.
About half closer, 50% closer.
I think everybody at the watch parties and people were able to tune in got their money's worth tonight.
I would say if you went to Harmony, I heard they were having a spirit contest. Whoever decorated their car the most spirit might have a prize. Broughton juggles the snap. It's getting kicked around. Did somebody pick it up? I think Perry was there. Might have been Johnny on the spot.
A little soccer action there.
Caleb on the spot. And the exchange is going to be a first down after all that, as he fell on it past the marker. So the Warhawks have the ball with 4 new downs at the 21, 1:40 to play.
That's usually when things are going right there. You know, you would think Great Crossing wasn't behind this much, because that's a nice little break right there.
Not a bad effort at all by Great Crossing tonight in any shape or form.
No, very happy for them. Proud
They're
of
going
them.
to use one of their 3 timeouts. They do want to score here. You can see that now. There's no quit, as you've said. That offensive line is young. We see some of the big bodies out there. A lot of them are going to be here for an extended period of time for Great Crossing.
Yep.
I want to call out some of their names, as you don't get much of a chance to see them. Kevin O'Doherty, the center, is a sophomore. Ethan Stadnick is a junior. Josiah Trevino is a junior. So it's going to keep all the learning experiences are going to continue to accumulate for this team.
And especially, you get athletes in Coach Bolden's offense. I mean, that triple option is a triple-headed monster.
It's deadly if you get all the options clicking. And you saw tonight little flashes from all of them. A flash from Harris, a flash from Coulter, from Broughton throwing and running the ball.
Casey Fain.
Fain can hurt you on the perimeter as well. So they're going to win more than one game, is my prediction. I think
at least we hope.
2, 3.
Absolutely. Almost has a Bernie Kosar side saddle.
Broughton, a very late pitch, probably the worst developed play of the night for the Warhawks. They've had so many good ones. Young was right there. Colvin was there, and Great Crossing again had no choice but
that had a little bit to do with the penetration from the other side of the ball.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit, as we were giving a call to those young Great Crossing linemen, and sometimes that youth bites you.
Yep.
Even late in a game like this, you'd think those big guys from Scott County would be tired, but Herbert's still kicking. There's some beef up front. Hand off to Colbert, spins to the 20 as we've ticked down under a minute.
Colbert's like, I'm the man that's got to go crashing up the middle here at the end of the game.
One last shout out to our sponsors, to DT Wells and Mike Scoggin for joining forces to make this all possible, and James Scoggin for doing all the dirty work to make us come through loud and clear. We want to thank all of them and all of our supporters out there, all of our listeners and viewers tonight. Thank you. We're sure this will set a new standard for the biggest number. As that ball was just about a foot away from being caught for a touchdown. Perry was down there.
Well, and we hope our people listening tonight, you can do this every Friday. I mean,
you can do this. We've got 2 more weeks of Scott County home games, and then we've got 3 Great Crossing home games in a 4-week stint in the second half of the season. And especially pretty confident Scott County will be hosting a playoff game here after that as well. So at least one.
And knowing the current situation that we're in, you can't.
Can't
get a ticket to get in the game.
Anything could change between now and then. So
join us right here.
We don't expect a lot of tickets to be available.
A
reverse to Perry. I don't think anybody from Scott County expected that he was going to get the ball. I'm not quite sure why. Time's going to run out. It's down to 2 seconds. He's inside the 10. Are they going to use a timeout with 1 second to play? They are.
Why not?
Punch
it in. Give the kids an opportunity.
You're only young once.
Right.
They had a couple of they had a chance to score at the end of the first half too. This could have been a different game if that had happened. So give a call to both teams. They fought hard tonight. Scott County just a little bit better, a little bit more experienced.
I think I know what Coach Monty McIntyre is going to probably say right there in this timeout huddle there, Cal. Do Do not let them in the end zone right here.
Don't let them score.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Don't let them score, and after that, don't let them score.
Right. Oh, and by the way, boys, did I mention? Do not.
Do not even think about it.
Right.
You're going to pull out every play in the playbook here to try to punch it in.
Were you okay with your Patriots and your new quarterback there Sunday?
Yeah, I was. I was very happy. I'm happy because I think it's given them their best chance to win, and I think Brady has his best chance to win with his current skill set. He's a stationary target, but he's got some weapons, and Patriots don't have those weapons right now, but Newton can do other things. Oh, a little blindside hit on the last play of the game as Broughton gets sacked by Paul Garner to finish it up.
Paulie Garner with the smack.
And the final score is Scott County 49, Great Crossing 18. Any final thoughts from you tonight, Derek Varney?
No, congratulations to both teams. Coach McKee, well-tuned offense tonight. You can tell they went to work last week after, close win with Bryan Station. Win is a win. Went back to work. Looked good out here tonight, but, hats off also to Great Crossing Coach Bolden. I mean, fabulous offense that he runs. He's got young kids. I think they're very much up and coming, and I'm looking forward to doing their games the rest of the season that we have here.
Thank you again, Derek Varney. Thank you again, James Scoggin, Mike Scoggin, DT Wells, and everybody who makes this possible, all the sponsors here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. As Derek said, we'll be back with you next week for a biggie. Frederick Douglass coming to town to take on Scott County, two of the top teams in 5A, a top 10 matchup. You may not be able to be here, but you can be here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network to see that one. Our players of the game, offensive player of the game from courtesy of Galvin's on Main, will be Montego Jones for the second consecutive week, over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was a close battle between him and Campton Martin, but we'll give it to Tago. On the defensive side, we're going to throw a bone to the Great Crossing Warhawks and Caleb Perry, who had 24 tackles, 11 solo, 13 assists.
Just the 11 solo itself is a lot of tackles.
$2.19 for Jones on 25 carries. He only took 1 yard loss all night. He was constantly moving forward. 10 for 22 for 120 yards for Jake Broughton. Patton had a nice night, as you said, 7 for 9 for 80. Garner 4 catches, Lay with 2.
And a big sack in the ballgame.
We're going to go down and do some business down on the field, but on behalf of Derek Varney and the rest of the crew, I'm merely Kal Oakes. Thanks for joining us. Story at newsgraphic.com before midnight. Until next week, God bless. We'll see you on the other side.